Gizzo, what's going on, everybody? All right, this is my plan. We do a regular show now, okay, talking about whatever type of Mob 2 bullshit you want to discuss. And then at 6 o'clock, I'm going to do a pre-debate live, where we could talk about what we expect to see tonight and we can have some fun and fuck around, because I guarantee you tonight is going to be comical. It is. There's no doubt about it. And I'll tell you my thoughts on that on the next show. We don't want to get political here, God forbid. Miss Can't Be Wrong, Sally, Maddie G, Dave, Jesse Roth, Dante Caprio, Tom Sheehy. Wait, did I already shout you out? I don't think so. BTF Phoenix, Stewart, Yizzo. Let me see. Nathan 1234. Hello to you. OC, you. And let me see. Pissed my pants over a day when I turned FBS on, and he said this is a song about Tony Pizza blowing his cornhole. Oh, you mean yesterday, not over day. Yeah, yesterday. Was that yesterday or the day before, the Canarsie songs? Yeah, they were good. They were very good. I can see how that brought you laughter, Stuart. I'm good, Tom, clean and sober, feeling good. Thanks. That's great, Stuart. It really is, man. All right, guys. So you picked the topic, If it was up to me, I would have just done a politics show for the next 2 hours, but I know that doesn't work for everybody, and I got to try to make some money. So let's talk about whatever you want to talk about. Let's do it. Don't be scared. Drop your topics in the chat. We could, of course, go back to talking about pizza, but what specifically? I mean, I'm sure there's something fucking goofy he did between this show and the last one, right? So fill me in. Otherwise, I don't know what else is really going on. That's why I've been talking about pizza a lot lately, because I don't know. You know what I mean? I know. If I listened to MobTube all day, every day, I'd have probably 10 shows a day, and they'd all be wildly entertaining. But it's not good for my mental health. No, I didn't see that. I didn't see any of it. I'm sure I will later when I start scrolling. Tomorrow we interview Monica. No shit, you're interviewing Pizza's sister, Monica? Oh, there you go. Let me just tell you all, Jesse is interviewing Monica again. If y'all want the deets, get your wallets out. There you go. There you go. I didn't know she interviewed you to begin with. What do you mean again? What did I miss? The fuck did I miss? Did you tell everybody what it was like growing up as Tony Pizza's sister? I hope so. I hope you wouldn't leave that stuff out. That's what we all want to hear. I'd like to be led to that episode so I can watch it. I did notice that this morning early, I think it was pretty early, when I put YouTube on, because I'll put YouTube on the TV or whatever. Hold on, wait a minute. FBS Pizza reckons DG, Jason, me. Oh, D Gainey, Jason, and you get your drugs from me. Is that right? Tom Sheehy, how do I get them to you? You're pretty far away. Jason and D Gainey, I can see. But how do I get them to you? What's his theory on that? Do I ship them to you? That never turns out well. Wouldn't try it. But all right, listen. That's his theory. And it's not like him to say anything crazy, or false or misleading. That's not like Tony Pizza. Very honest guy, or very level-headed, God knows. So anyway, I'll put the, YouTube, whatever, on my fucking TV in the living room, and I'll start scrolling on my phone, and I'll listen to whatever's on the TV as background noise. That's what I do. And I saw that his His show was titled Trump something, Trump 2024, whatever. I don't know. And it's funny to me because is that why, Alex? Gotcha. Tom's in Ohio with me. Interesting. I thought only I was in Ohio. I'm running the show, giving you bad info, FBS, misleading you. Oh, is that what's happening? Gotcha. FBS, your show a few days ago was gold about pizza, about them shower pics and selfies he did. Oh, yeah, those are some weird ass fucking pictures. I don't know what he's up to. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so, seeing him with this Trump stuff, every time he says the word Trump or he talks about Trump or being a Trump supporter, it just cracks me up because, he's Tony Pizza. And I've said a lot of things about Trump supporters, but I assure you that every Trump supporter, real Trump supporter, is better than Tony Pizza. I assure you of that. That I'm pretty much positive of. You never know. You might have a chomo in there somewhere that I don't know about, but just assuming that they're all somewhat normal people, they have to be better than Tony Pizza. And that takes a lot for me to say. So you know how serious I must feel about this to say it. That's my opinion. Pizza ages 10 years for every 1 year. It's not dog years, it's pizza years. He ages in pizza years, huh? That explains a lot. You too, Dante. Shyla's Spellbound Creations. I'm very interested in how the debate is going to go down tonight. I have a pretty good idea. Well, yeah, I don't want to get into it too much on this show. I'm doing a show next, Shyla, at 6 o'clock. That'll be about that. But, yeah, we know what's going to happen. Listen, and here's the thing, no matter what Trump ever does at a debate, Trump supporters will always say he won, no matter what. It doesn't matter what happens. Kamala could wipe the floor with him. They'll still say he won, but they've lowered the bar for him so much that basically, as long as he don't call Kamala the N-word, he's going to wind up looking better than people expected. That's pretty much all he has to do tonight is refrain from doing that. I don't know if it's possible though. All right, I'll see you there, Shyla. Albert the Truth Telling Alligator, what's up, bro? Same though, FBI. Same what? I don't know. This is comfortable. Usually I'm like sitting up. It's comfortable actually sitting back against the back of the chair. My back's fucking killing me today. I don't know why, so it's kind of necessary. So what do you guys want to talk about? Come on, help me out. Sometimes I got to do this. I got to rely on you guys. Try to do 2 shows a day sometime. It's not easy. I mean, I don't want to talk about like, unless you guys bring something up, like for instance, the usual suspects who right now would be like Nick, Lefty, I don't know what Angel and her crew are up to, but MRE, people like that. I don't know. There's nothing on my mind about them, but you never know. You guys might bring something up that'll trigger me. Trying to explain this to my boy, and he's looking at me like I'm crazy. What? MobTube? Oh, if that's what you're talking about, yeah, don't even try. You'll get locked up in a fucking funny farm. Are you a made guy? What's Nick been up to? Should I even ask? MRE has been going in on Scott Bernstein, I heard. Scott Bernstein, why? A lot of people go in on him. And Jeff Canarsie. Well, should I play Jeff Canarsie's song to MRE? It's up to you guys. Nick is making fun of Nadu again. Guess I can't say I'm surprised about that. Nadu called me about something today, but I don't remember what now. Play it? Maybe I'll play it towards the end. We'll see. I'm trying to decide if I feel like it or not. Oh, Tom Sheehy play? All right. A lot of you want me to play it. I'll play it. Even though only 2 of you said it. That's enough for me. Let me see. I should have uploaded it to the fucking thing, but I didn't.
We've been in the shadows deep, and tell that no one wants to hear. Memories a name we keep, a darkness that we almost fear. Memories, memories, not see forward. We got to stop the hate and show.
In case you missed it, he said MRE's a Nazi chomo.
The world can be so full of lies. Let love and truth just pierce the sky. With every step we'll stand our ground. Expose the lies, break the chains. In unity, our voices loud. Together we will end the pain. Memories of Nazi forward.
It's very catchy, you know. It has a, I don't know, something about it. It's like I won't be able to get this out of my head all day now.
We got to stop the hate and show. The world can be so full of lies. And love and truth just pierce the sky.
There you go. I believe that's all of it. MRE's a Nazi chomo. Let me get back up here because I don't think I shouted this out. Stuart, £5. You said quid. I don't know. You know, let's say pound. Super sticker. Thank you, sir. And Tom Sheehy matched it and said matching Stuart. Thank you, Tom Sheehy. I need some motivation today, guys. I don't know. I made $5 on the first show, so I know that most likely I would have been better off not doing any shows tonight, just hanging out. But I got to do this, you know. So motivate me either with a good idea that'll throw me into some sort of rant where the time will fly, or just donate a bunch of money. Do one or the other. Joseph Montanero, what's up, bro? Why are you in pain, bro? You okay, Matt? I saw SoFlo did a live, I believe it was a live earlier about, what's his name? Tyree, what's his name? I don't know. With the body cam footage. I was going to do the Sonia Massey one, but you guys kind of convinced me not to. You guys should, Tyreek Hill, there you go. You guys should see that. I mean, has everybody seen the Sonia Massey thing? Just out of curiosity. Tyreek Hill, Miami Dolphins, yeah. Getting FBS to say quid was worth it. Haha, we call pounds quids. Funny hearing you say it. Okay, 5 quid. Does I sound like I should be saying it? Hey, look, watch. Stuart, a few quid. Should I be saying the word quid, guys? I don't know. I really don't. I'm gonna quit this fucking show if I don't figure out what to talk about. Tom Sheehy's cracking up. You guys should let me show you the Sonia Massey thing. If not today, then another day. You know, it's pretty fucking egregious. It's gonna make you very angry, and I know you don't want to be angry, but it's something else. Now, I didn't see this thing with this Tyreek Hill. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't see what SoFlo did on it, but I did see that. A matter of fact, Jeff Nadeau posted about it. The cops were banging on his window for like a minute and a half, trying to get him out of the car, right? So, you know, it's not. Sometimes you just got to watch the whole video and say, okay, well, what do you expect? You know, what do you expect? People don't fucking listen. Let me tell you something. If a cop tells you to get out of your car, he's not asking you. Okay? He's telling you. And you are going to get out of your car, no matter what kind of fight you put up. I assure you of that. No matter how many of them it takes to remove you from your car, That's how many they'll use, you know? So I'm not that interested in that case because it seems like, just an entitled NFL guy being a dickhead and not wanting to, comply with whatever the fuck. And that's hard for me to say. Maybe I should watch the whole video before I say that. But, a lot of rich people, especially, they feel like they're above the law. But from what it appears to me, the guy was being ordered out of his car for quite some time before they finally removed him. So I don't know. I could be wrong though. Maybe I should watch it. You have a deep Philadelphian accent. Is that right, Matt? I never knew that about you. You want to come on the show right now and talk to us? I'll drop the link for Matt. What are the chances of him coming on? I don't know. We'll see. There you go. There's the link, Matt. Tom Sheehy, why don't you come on? Let's do that today. Let's just have a bunch of people from the chat come on. We don't do that often. Tom has a strong Ohio accent, I heard. Yeah, apparently. Me too. Who's up for it? For grabbing the link? Edward Everett. What's up, bro? Good to see you. You looking forward to the debate tonight? I know you are. Everybody better get your popcorn. And I hate to say it, but if you drink a little bit, your beer, whatever, your drinks, and get ready. It's going to be entertaining as a motherfucker. Me personally, I'm just going to eat a good meal while I watch it. It's enough for me. Yes, it is. And drop the link if you want in a moment, if you really want. Oh, okay. All right. There you go. Yeah, I did. I'll do it again, though. Why not? Let's see how many funny accents we can get on the panel. Let's try that. Some of you can really introduce yourselves to everybody else here. Closest thing to my accent is a guy called Paddy McGuinness, and UK celeb opposite to shooting the dice. Haha. Oh, all right. Gotcha. Well, let's see. I want to see who grabs the link. Put my earbuds on. Oh, Miss Can't Be Wrong said she'll grab it too. Nice. I mean, Monica. My bad. I'm sorry. Wasn't thinking. I'm still calling her by her nickname. Wait a minute. Hold on. I just got something. Let me listen to this first so I know what I should do with it. Hang on one second, Miss Can't Be Wrong. Let me mute this. Okay, Tom C. He wants to show everybody how he sounds. For the people who haven't heard him before. Listen closely.
How y'all doing over there? Good to see us. I'm from Texas.
Tom Sheehy, how about that? Miss Can't Be Wrong, what do you think? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I like that. I thought it was cute. That was cute, Tom.
Let me play it again. Hold on.
How y'all doing over there? Good to see us. I'm from Texas.
I like how he threw in right at the Derek from Texas. Alex, that's exactly what I was thinking of. I swear to God. Eric the Midget. Anybody who's a Stern fan knows. At one point, he pretended to be Derek from Texas when he was trying to call into the Stern show without them knowing who he was. He was trying to. He said he banned himself and he wasn't going to go on the Stern show anymore. So he started calling in as Derek from Texas.
That was convincing, but if Tom would have had to say much more, I don't think he could have kept going with it.
I don't know. He might have. Maybe he'll send another message.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
It's funny how right at the end he threw in, "I'm from Texas."
Yeah, that was cute. Come on, Matt. Come on.
Here he is.
Okay.
Matt, what's up, bro? Matt.
All right, how we doing today?
Good,
I
good.
Hear
How
it
are you?
already. I hear it already.
Not much, just in a lot of pain.
What's wrong? What's wrong, Matt?
I did
back?
the Texas thing for you right there at the very end. What's wrong? It's mostly my spine.
That's no good.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, that's the worst type of pain sometimes. Your
But
fucking back.
otherwise, it's. I mean, no, it's not any good. It fucking sucks. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I know what
it's
you're
not
saying.
good.
Yeah.
What
I've
happened?
had 3 surgeries and they want to do another one.
Yeah, what exactly happened to you, Matt? I think he's got a delay.
I've had 4 total done. Oh, it was like I'm gonna say when I was 19.
All right, we're having issues here. When you were 19, what? I think you got a delay, Matt. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he must have a delay. There's got to be a delay.
Yeah, I do.
Are you using a Bluetooth? Are you
Hang
using
on.
Bluetooth? If you're using Bluetooth, that's probably why. I don't hear. I
Yep,
got to tell you.
I am.
Oh, yeah. Turn off the Bluetooth. I don't hear the Philly accent. I got to be honest.
I hear it a little bit, but it must be because I don't hear it that
All right, hang on.
Yeah. All right.
hear it that
All right, hang on.
Yeah. All right.
Let's see. All right, turned off.
hear it that
All right, hang on. Let's see. Let's see. All right, turned off.
hear it that
Hang on. I might leave the studio, come back real quick. If
All right, yeah, do that. Just mute YouTube when you come back.
I might leave the studio, come back real quick. If
All right, yeah, do that. Just All right. Matt will be back. I don't know.
Oh, that sounds stupid.
Who, you? No.
Yeah.
Listen, that's how everybody thinks. You know, that everybody thinks their voice sounds dumb. You know, usually most people don't think anything. You know, you in your head, you know, you sound terrible, but most people think you sound normal.
Yeah, I imagine
At least I think so.
getting used to hearing your own self like that.
Yeah, I was listening to. I clicked on an old show this morning or some shit, right? Look, Cador. Stewart says the Cador. What was I saying? Oh, I clicked on an old show and I heard my voice and I sounded fucked up, like not like I usually sound. And the first thing that came to my mind is, do you remember the screen name? FBS's voice comes through his deviated septum.
Yeah.
That's exactly. I was like, oh my God, maybe they're right. Listen to that. I sound all nasally and shit. What the fuck?
Yeah. Everybody be like, you sound fine, but you, like you say, you're always more self-conscious of yourself and all.
Yeah, of course. I read about it too. It's because of a lot of different reasons, like the vibration in your head and everything when you're talking and all types of shit that causes people to think that. Like in other words, when they listen to themselves, they hear themselves differently. You know what I mean? Than they do when they're speaking.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Jason,
Yes.
what's up? Oh, go
What
ahead.
time's the debate tonight? Is it 8 or 9?
9.
Oh, that's what I thought. Yeah.
And I think it's 90 minutes, so it should be to 10:30. But
I think so. I think they go on for, an good hour and a half. Good hour.
I wish I could stream it. I wish.
Yeah, they're only
can't
letting
do
a
it.
select few do it, which is weird. It makes me wonder why. Why don't they just don't let people do it?
Yeah, I guess it takes away from their viewership, while they're live. Now after the debate, I could do it, but I'm not coming back on 10:30 tonight. I want to try to go to bed early. Otherwise, I would just do a post debate show. Here comes Matt. All right, let's see if you worked it out. Matt. Fuck.
All right.
All right, can you hear us? Oh God. There's still a delay. I think,
I can hear you guys. It's just,
But how?
It's kind of hard to hear.
I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna work. You definitely got a major delay. I don't know what could be
Myself.
causing that. Oh yeah, see? I don't know.
It's too
Jason
much of a
Mikesell, grab the
delay.
link.
It's like a 30-second delay or some shit. I
know.
didn't count, but
Yeah, it's terrible. Let's just try another time because we're not going to be able to communicate this way. Sorry, I couldn't talk. Let's see.
yeah, conversing won't work this way.
Yeah, no.
Let me see what I can do, and I'll try maybe one more time. Who the fuck knows?
Try it from your phone.
That's what I do from my phone, because if I did it from my computer, you'd want to punch me through the thing because my computer sucks. So I just do it through the phone.
It's not bad, yeah.
Yeah, try it through the phone, Matt, and come back.
Yeah, because that delay, we're all trying to wait and give each other a turn to talk, and that delay is brutal.
Yeah, it is. All right, there we go. Shooting the dice. Where the fuck have you been, sir? Good to see you. You want
seen him in a minute.
We're trying to get funny accents up on the panel. You want to come on?
I like shooting the dice. I like him. I don't know what part of the UK he's from, but I like to hear him.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Is this Jason? Jason, text me if that's you.
Yeah. Is Jason trying to come up? Mike Sale?
Yeah. Who's Philip Anthony?
I want to say I seen him around pizzas chat and all, but now don't take my word on it, but that's the name that I'm associate with some of the troll chats. Now I could be wrong, I might be wrong.
All right, let's see. Jason.
Yo.
What's up, bro? Hold on, let me see what's up with this guy. Philip.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Not much. What's happening?
Oh, not a lot. Are you you come in peace or what?
Yeah, I just came into what were we going to talk about? You going to let everybody talk about the debate, or?
Well, that we're going to do on the next show.
Yeah.
We're just bullshitting right now.
Okay.
Okay,
where are you from?
Who's that face?
I'm from New England, but I'm in Florida.
Oh, okay. Jason. Is Jason
I'm here.
Is that Philip Anthony? Are you Philip Anthony?
Yeah. What up?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I think I might have had the wrong guy, so I'm
You?
glad.
No, you got the right guy.
Oh, did I have the right guy? Okay. Well, I'm not going to go hard on you. I'm not going to,
Are you a pizza supporter?
No, I'm not a pizza supporter.
No.
Oh, I thought there was a Philip Anthony who was like a hardcore troll who hated me, but maybe I got the wrong.
I do. I go back and forth with you. I used to
so I did have the. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I used to be a big fan, but then you guys blocked me, and then I just, whatever.
Well, I don't know who blocked you. What was it? Could you have said?
Yeah, I probably talked. I don't think it was that hard at first, but after that, I turned on you. Like I got negative after that.
Yeah, because if I seen you somewhere talking shit somewhere, I would have probably blocked you. I mean, I don't know,
That's okay. I don't mind.
Anyway, the best part of tonight will be to see if Kamala Harris can put together two sentences in a row that make sense. That's all I wanted to say.
Whoa!
All right.
Whoa!
Well, we gotta let people have.
Back up about it, buddy.
We gotta let people have their opinion as long as they're being respectful, because not everybody's gonna like everybody.
That's
of course.
true.
Yeah,
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Oh,
I don't have to like your opinion, but I'll respect it. Right.
Yeah, I don't mind. If he thinks for some reason that Kamala won't be able to string two sentences together, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, that's all we can do is watch. But now you got to remember, she's a trained attorney. They're trained to talk. They're trained.
Thank you. She's a trained attorney with a great law school pedigree, and not to mention she's been a prosecutor, and I think she was a state attorney general too. Like she's got a long career in law.
About her, I do know that she, that's what she's trained to do is talk. Lawyers debate.
Right. So you can disagree with her, but she is an eloquent. Well, I wouldn't even say eloquent, but she is well spoken, right? Well educated. So
Yeah, she is. She's
most definitely going to string paragraphs together, not just sentences, right?
Right. Okay. Well, I haven't heard two go together yet. So.
Well, I mean, you probably heard things you just don't agree with, right?
Yeah, well, that's because of what you're listening to.
I don't hear any sense. I just hear her talking in circles all the time, and I can't get any, position on where she stands for anything.
It's politics talk. She's kind of circling issues, but I mean, you want to hear madness at play. Like, listen to Trump and his rallies. I mean, just listen to the straight bullshit that comes out of his mouth. Like 90% of it is factually incorrect. Like, you can just assess that from the moment he says it. Like communist talk, socialist talk, all this crazy one-line bullshit constantly from him. So, if anyone's spewing nonsense, it's Trump.
I agree. I don't know. We got an eye roll there from Philip. We're going to see. We'll see what happens tonight. That's all. We'll see what. But I assure you one thing. Kamala, especially compared to Trump, is extremely well spoken, intelligent, and articulate. Trump, again, at his rallies, he talks about, Hannibal Lecter and fucking sharks and electric boats and fucking Al Capone. And he never talks policy. He never talks about any of his plans for the future. He just brags about crowd sizes and talks shit, So I know what we're going to see tonight. There's no question.
It's theatrics, FPS, like politics. There's this whole element of theatrics, right? So it's like whoever comes off like they know more, they sound better. The optics of it kind of plays a lot into debates, especially on TV. But there was a time years ago, right, where people listened to debates on the radio, and so you would have to hear things that they were saying, and people would make up their minds based on that. I think the very first televised debate was Kennedy and Nixon. And Nixon was beating him in the polls all year, all the way till that debate. And based on the performance of that first televised debate, how handsome Kennedy was, how well spoken, how he came off, Nixon just looks like a square lawyer who knows a lot, but he doesn't look great, right? He lost the election because of that by 100,000 or so votes, like the slimmest of margins. And it was because of that debate, basically. So the debate optics matter a lot. So I hope she comes out there and starts just slinging like, a lot of ammunition at him, just firing shit at him, because that's kind of what she has to do. If she looks like anything close to Biden on that first one, that's going to spell disaster for the Dems.
Oh, of course. But it would be pretty difficult for her to look as bad as Biden.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I don't think that's a high standard to bypass there. So,
yeah. I don't know, Philip. I don't know what to say to you. You're not saying a lot. I feel like you came on here to show off your pool.
No, I'm up. My son's doing his homework. He heard me talk, and then he just stopped doing his homework, so I walked outside.
He just wanted to come on here shirtless. That's what it was.
Show us your muscles.
Oh,
post for us.
I don't have any muscles. My shirt's trying to dry my shirt before I go to sleep.
Well, here's a question. Why do you, and like just, like, I guess to be more specific, which specific policy of Kamala Harris or non-stance on a policy are you most against?
You asking
what is your biggest problem with her? Yeah, I'm asking you. I'm just curious.
The biggest problem with her is that I don't hear any policies. All I hear, I couldn't take the first at the convention when she started up, and it was all about her childhood and things of that nature. I was really looking for her to get into her politics, so I didn't make it too deep into that.
Well, you can just assume. Yeah, go ahead.
After that, I said, well, she said she's going on the road with the other guy on a tour, and I haven't seen her out once speaking except for the CNN interview. Has she been out anywhere?
Oh, she's been doing
rallies all over the country. Yeah.
Where was the last rally?
The last one, I'm not sure, but she was in Wisconsin. She was in Arizona.
She was in Philadelphia last week.
She was in Beaver County, Pennsylvania. She's been everywhere.
I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah, she was in Michigan last week.
This is what I mean. Yeah, the reason why, Philip, is because you're not watching anything that's going to show you her or where she is. You know what I mean?
Not really, because you would think they would show her on even a channel that dislikes her. They're going to show the rally all the time.
They do.
Not if she looks good.
Yeah.
Not if she looks good and that rally is fucking. Not if she's killing it. You know what I mean? They're going to do everything they can to hide that.
Okay. So you're saying she's been to 4 or 5 rallies in the last week or two?
The last week or two? No. You said where has she been? She's been everywhere. I mean, in the last week or two, I don't know exactly. But where is
she publicly spoken to talk about her policies in the last?
Every rally she's done. Every rally she's done, she's been speaking about her policies. Now, let me ask you the same question about Trump. Trump is barely campaigning at all, but what policies of Donald Trump's do you like?
I'm not saying I'm a huge Trump fan. I just think he's the better of the two choices. If you ever owned a business anywhere, what I like about Trump is that he's not a politician per se, and that
that's his problem. But go ahead.
Look at the world as far as economics of everything, things like that. You know, I just think it's nice to have, refreshing to have somebody in there takes a different approach than
all right.
That's not bought by anybody.
All right. Let me quickly respond with a couple of points very quickly, right? Yeah, so like number one, you can always look.
Matt. Yeah, Matt.
I'll be quick here. I'll be quick.
Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah. So right now there's a lot of rallies, campaign slogans. There's a lot of bluster, a lot of rhetoric, and so you can just look at policy right now the way I do, because you're not going to get specific point-by-point policy stances from these two. You're not, right? They're campaigning. So you look at the ideology, right? What does Kamala represent, right? It's more or less more the same of Joe Biden, maybe some differences. That left-leaning type of ideology, right? Help the working man, cut taxes for the middle class, right? Hold corporations accountable, tax the rich, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The right, you can look at Trump, but Trump doesn't represent what you call typical Republican establishment ideology. He takes that and goes further to the right. So just think extreme, right? And we've already seen what he's done in office the first time. I mean, you said that, you know, you like him that because he's not a politician. I think that's kind of what carried him into office initially. But we've seen that you need a grasp of geopolitics to effectively lead a nation like America. You can't just treat every geopolitical relationship in whatever region as a fucking business deal. Because you look at the things that he's achieved geopolitically, it's like absolutely nothing other than cozying up to Putin. What did he achieve by going after China with tariffs? You fucked up prices for everybody by starting a childish tariff war. Tariffs are there to protect domestic industry. They're not there to start a tit-for-tat war. You're going to lose that. And really, he acts like that's a triumph. It's not. And then, you know, all the shit he did with North Korea. I mean, you need a politician to handle geopolitical problems. You really do. Now, do you want a politician to constantly have his political hat on when he's dealing with like social issues and economics? No, you want somebody somewhat business-minded. But make no mistake about it, the presidency of the United States is a political position, and you need to be a statesman, a diplomat, and adept at politics. You just do. Go ahead.
Philip left.
Oh man.
Yeah, Philip. Take it.
Was I pontificating too much? I'm sorry. I just
no, he was overwhelmed.
He just boom. He put his shirt on and left.
Yeah, I mean,
Matt, what's up, bro? Sorry, Jason, I didn't mean to cut you off. Matt.
No worries.
He's still delayed, I think.
You on mute? Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, it's not working. It's not working. Here, now that we're into politics, what should I do? Should I cancel the next show and just make this the politics show?
Just keep going with this, so you don't have to start all over, I guess.
It's up to you. I can stay for this or for the next one. It's fine. For me, it's just like cut me off if I'm talking too much, because like once I get started on some of this stuff, it's hard for me to stop.
I know talking on the phone with you is fucking impossible.
Yeah, I apologize.
Sometimes I swear to God.
It's
yeah, Miss Campion, I've had to get off the phone with him at times because it's like I can't anymore. It's too much.
I never shut up. It's like one thought leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. I could just write a whole dissertation.
Well, you know your stuff. I cannot argue with that. I cannot argue.
Thank you. I try to stay informed. Honestly, I'm not as informed as I want to be, but in terms of politics, like the history and where we are, and some of the key economic issues that people complain about, like inflation, I have a pretty good grasp of that. So
I had to turn myself off from it. I really did. You can ask my husband. For a time, you would come in and I would have all the networks going on the different devices and be watching all of it. And I got crazy with it and I had to stop.
Yeah, that's a good way to drive yourself crazy right there. This can't be wrong. All the networks, like, wow.
I was watching what all of them were saying and all about, and all, yeah, it just got me. I got real burnout, man, real burnout.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to, like, really, like, a lot of people are voting ideology. This is what always happens every election. You got the Dems, you got the Republicans, you got everybody that's undecided, and those undecided people usually swing the election. The reason I'm so worked up about this one is not just because I'm against Trump's demagoguery, but It's like the soul of America is at stake here. The direction we go in the next 20, 30 years and what comes of that. That is what's at stake here.
True. That's the truth, though. It is.
Right. So it's the left wing and whoever you put there. I mean, you could take anybody there and put him in there right now as a ringer. The left, the person is not what is causing people to vote. It's this sort of repudiation and denial of Trumpism, which I think of differently than establishment conservatism, right? Because conservatism I can respect. I mean, at some point one day I could even end up being somewhat of a conservative. I don't put that behind me, but I'll never ever subscribe to Trump ideology. That's sort of low, trashy bullying of like people and just the one-line rhetoric, slogans, and all the bullshit and the fear mongering.
He can say some things sometimes. I agree that. Yeah.
He's just a bully and a bad guy. It really is what it comes down to. So forget character, right? Like, you know, like FPS, you say this a lot, like his character. It appalls me that people would vote his character, but it's even beyond that now. It's about what he represents, that type of thinking, that type of like, fuck globalization, you know what I mean? Bring everything back to America, which sounds good, but it's just impractical, dude. To, you know, rebuff climate change, right? To like, oh, we're going to go back to coal and fucking oil. Like, it's time to develop some new renewable technologies,
they
right?
Start
when it comes to energy.
About that type of stuff, I think sometimes to get people thinking something different. I think they honestly start talking about climate change and global warming when they want to pull the wool over somebody's eyes.
Yeah, I just feel like a lot of his viewpoints are just sort of like this really backwards type of thinking. And like his entire slogan offends the shit out of me. I mean, like that from the beginning, I was like, what the fuck? Make America great again? When did we stop being great? At one point, was America not great? Like, you know, like I never understood how he clearly like articulated why America isn't great. And he throws a lot of, well, you know, a lot of things into that.
Because he thinks
a lot of it
can make it great again, you know?
Yeah, a lot of it I feel like just comes down to race. But I mean, he won't say that. When he was campaigning in 2016, I mean, all the dog whistles to all the far right, you know, white supremacist groups, you know, very fine people at Charlottesville on both sides.
Well,
like,
remember,
that's
you know,
true. That's true.
Make America Great Again was Ronald Reagan's slogan.
Initially, I remember when he first started running, but then he sort of moved on to something else in the re-election. I remember.
I'm trying to remember what it was now.
Yeah. Now, we were coming off Jimmy Carter fucking up the economy with the oil and that whole Iran scandal and fucking that up. I like Jimmy Carter. He just fucked up you know, his politics just didn't work. So Reagan rode in that wave and came in that way. I
remember that being on the news every day back when it happened.
Yeah.
People back from Iran and all when that happened.
And then they died, right? They had that helicopter crash in the desert where they were trying to rescue them.
The Iran-Contra, all that where they had to get
Oh, that happened later. Yeah. I'm talking about hostages that we had to rescue in like 80 or something.
Yeah. I think so. I think they did.
Yeah. So, I mean, and really you can look at a lot of the problems we have economically right now. And it all started with Reaganomics in the 80s, with that deregulation, with the trickle-down economics, supply-side economics.
They got rid of, you know, the community mental health. They got rid of all. They fixed it where all of these facilities, these state hospitals, were shut down, and they moved mental health to the community mental health, and that's what happened with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot.
Did that with the, you know, the funding for the mental health and all.
Right. He's just did a lot of things that just upended some of the social programs that help people. Now, I'm not talking like gutting them. I'm talking like completely dismantling and removing them outright. Like they not taking funding away, just getting rid of it.
All that, yeah.
Right, and that's the whole era of drugs and crack and all that. That's when you needed it the most, but it just wasn't there.
Yeah. Let's go back to what he said though, because you know, Philip. I know Philip Anthony to be a troll, and he said some horrible, disgusting things about me, I'm pretty sure. But I was being a nice guy. You know what I mean? If you want to be nice,
he was a troll.
Okay. Because luckily for him, luckily for him, I can't remember everything he said.
Yeah, I can't either. There's been so many.
If I knew he said something about Shanna, he wouldn't be on here, but I don't remember all that. I just know that I've had him blocked for probably damn near 3 years.
Yes.
But I want to talk about what he said because this is the simple-mindedness of Trump supporters. He's wondering if Kamala can string two sentences together. Now I'm going to tell you what this is. This is two things. This is one, the constant echo chamber, okay? The Fox News echo chamber of them telling, you know, people who listen to them and them only that she can't even string two sentences together. And this is also a complete and total display of ignorance because you can see that Philip Anthony hasn't seen Kamala. does Philip understand how many fucking rallies she's done in the last month and a half or so? I mean, she's bringing 20,000 people at her fucking rallies. 20,000 fucking people. You know, it's big news, her rallies. But he said, well, why wouldn't they show somebody they don't like? Because she doesn't sound like a fucking moron like Trump, and it makes them and Trump look bad. It makes Kamala look good. When you hear her speak, she's fucking, you know, she's very well spoken. And, you know, in comparison to somebody like Trump, listen to Trump. I mean, that's exactly what we would say about Trump. But when we say it about Trump, it's a true question. Will he actually be able to string two sentences together? They don't see him as he is. They see him as he's portrayed on Fox News. As this hero, the greatest president to ever live, this
cult of personality. That's what it is.
Smart businessman. Yeah. Meanwhile, if you're honest or you're watching everything other than, you know, what's going on in your little bubble, then you're fully aware of the fact that Trump is a fucking moron. And the real question is, will he be able to string two sentences together tonight? Do I have to play his answer again from the fucking from the fucking childcare question? I mean, when he tried to answer that question, you heard that, right, Jason?
I did not, but you know, if you want to play it, I'd love to listen to it. I know it's going to be fucking epically stupid.
I'll play this real quick because I played it yesterday, and now this is just going to be the show, guys. This will be the pre-debate. Philip brought up politics, so here we are.
Yeah, we might as well. We might as well. We got going that way.
If anybody wants to hop on, if anybody wants to hop on, I'll drop the link. Well, you know,
somebody.
Let's get Tom Sheehy on here. Tom Sheehy, if you're here, hop on. Let's have a proper
that's
debate.
what I want.
Casey, anybody who wants to come on, come on.
Absolutely.
Well, Kronsky's around too. I'd love to talk to him too about some of the stuff he was saying the other day.
Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe he'll come on.
Yeah, right. Come on, guys. Anybody who wants to grab it, grab it. Everybody can have an opinion here, just as long as we're being respectful and not at each other's throats, you know.
Exactly. Like, you can't be wrong. You said it perfectly. No ad hominem attacks. To stick to the issues. We can agree to disagree. Provide facts to support your position. And you know, if I don't agree, I don't agree. It's fine. As long as we keep it respectful.
Right, like he was saying, like Philip Anthony was saying. Well, can Kamala string two sentences together? Well, if that's what you think, then tell us why do you think that? Provide an example of a time when she didn't sound smart.
Well, you got to understand another thing that lets you know that Philip isn't watching Kamala. Literally, all she does now is talk about policy. That's what she does. She puts all her policy plans out there. Okay. Trump, on the other hand, you can't get him to talk about. He came to York, PA, where I fucking live, to talk about his, economic policy. And literally all he talked about was his enemies and crowd sizes and all types of other bullshit. Look what they're doing now. These fucking lunatics. They're trying to say that Venezuelans are taking over apartment buildings in fucking Aurora, Colorado. Meanwhile,
they're on that shit now.
Yeah, the police chief said, yeah, nothing like that is happening here. And then they're pretending, they're taking these videos of Hell's Angels at different rallies, and they're saying the Hell's Angels are on their way. Now today, they posted, the Republican Judicial, I forget what account it was, posted that Haitians, are taking over, what part of Ohio is it? I forget. And they're eating people's pets. And they put out all these memes of Donald Trump protecting cats and dogs, ducks. I'm sorry, ducks. And their people believe this. They actually believe it.
Unbelievable.
That Haitians have taken over. Here we go. Listen to this.
And the final question, Resma, is to you.
Thank you. President Trump, you talked about how the increase in the price of food, gas, and rent is hurting families. But the real cost that's breaking families' backs and preventing women from participating in the workforce is childcare. Childcare is now more expensive than rent for working families and is costing the economy more than $122 billion a year, making it one of the most—
Cuban Rambo, yeah, Springfield, Ohio, yeah. Listen to this answer, Jason. Listen to
urgent economic issues that is facing our country. In fact, the cost of childcare is outpacing the cost of inflation, with the majority of American families of young children spending more than 20% of their income on childcare. One thing that Democrats and Republicans have in common is that both parties talk a lot about what they're going to do to address the childcare crisis, but neither party has delivered meaningful change. If you win in November, can you commit to prioritizing legislation to make childcare affordable? And if what specific piece of legislation will you advance?
Well, I would do that, and we're sitting down. You know, I was somebody, we had Senator Marco Rubio, and my daughter Ivanka was so impactful on that issue. It's a very important issue. But I think when you talk about the kind of numbers that I'm talking about, that because look, childcare is childcare. There's something, you have to have it. In this country, you have to have it. But when you talk about those numbers compared to the kind of numbers that I'm talking about by taxing foreign nations at levels that they're not used to, but they'll get used to it very quickly. And it's not going to stop them from doing business with us, but they'll have a very substantial tax when they send product into our country. Those numbers are so much bigger than any numbers that we're talking about, including childcare, that it's going to take care. We're going to have, I look forward to having no deficits within a fairly short period of time, coupled with the reductions that I told you about on waste and fraud and all of the other things that are going on in our country, because I have to stay with childcare. I want to stay with childcare, but those numbers are small relative to the kind of economic numbers that I'm talking about, including growth, but growth also headed up by what the plan is that I just told you about. We're going to be getting trillions of dollars. And as much as childcare is talked about as being expensive, it's relatively speaking not very expensive compared to the kind of numbers we'll be taking in. We're going to make this into an incredible country that can afford to take care of its people, and then we'll worry about the rest of the world. Let's help other people. But we're going to take care of our country first. This is about America first. It's about make America great again. We have to do it because right now we're a failing nation. So we'll take care of it.
Have you ever heard a more convoluted, incomprehensible fucking answer to any question in your life? The question was simple. What are you going to do about childcare? But he has no policies and he has no idea what he would do about childcare. So he just starts rambling about fucking tariffs and shit.
You know what that is? That's what you call a politician's dodge to the question.
To be fair, right? It works for him.
I think I might not be delayed anymore.
Is that Muzz?
Okay.
Is that Muzz?
Matt, can you hear us?
I love your take on ADHD. Love it.
What was that?
Saying.
All right. I don't know if
your audio is a little messed up, Matt. We have a hard time kind of.
In a tunnel?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. A lot of static.
Matt, we got to try another time, bro. This isn't working.
All right.
All right. Thank you, though, bro.
It's just the quality of your audio. It's really hard to hear you. There's a lot of static.
There's a lot of static. All right.
All right. Thanks for coming on anyway, Matt.
I have to like move really. Oh, I see why now. How about this? And echo cancellation. Yeah, now it's louder, isn't it? But breaking up at the same time. Alright, well at least it's not delayed anymore. Alright, so halfway there. We'll try it another time. Alright, sorry to interrupt, by the way.
That was terrible.
Oh my God.
He needs to invest in like a mic or a headset or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I love the guy, but that wasn't working.
Where
Muzz,
is
what were
he?
you going to say?
I don't even know
laughing
anymore.
your
I
ass
think
off.
that cleared my brain.
No, you were laughing at the answer, the childcare
Oh
answer.
my God. That was amazing. I don't even know what he said, but it had nothing to do with what she said. And
No, he didn't.
Vomited.
Is that Muzz?
Yeah, hi.
Hey, Muzz, you're Canadian though, right?
I know, so I don't like anyone.
Y'all got Trudeau up there, right?
Oh, I don't care. I don't like anyone. I'm not saying we're better.
Yeah, no.
But I will say, I'll say it till the day I die, your 2 years of campaigning is the root of all your problems. Everything goes back to
I think everybody understands that we need some sort of we need multiple parties, but really we need sort of like runoff voting, like ranked choice voting.
Like 2 months of campaigning. What the hell do you do for 2 years? That's why you have to have like pomp and circumstance, because people get bored.
Yeah.
And that's how you end up with Philip going, but he's not a politician, so I want him to run the country. What?
Well,
and Jason is right about that, you know.
I know that's like a thing people like, but like, do you realize how weird that's?
It doesn't. It only. I don't want to be a dick here, but it's something a stupid person would say. Oh, who do we want to be president? I don't care.
Someone unqualified.
A politician. Yes.
That's what I heard.
Completely unqualified. Somebody has no idea how to handle politics whatsoever. No idea.
I get it. They're tired of politicians, but the answer is not like, I don't like my doctor. Let me get a farmer to cut me open.
I got I'm fighting a murder case right now, but I don't want a lawyer handling this shit. You know what I mean?
You know, like the neurologist is a dick, but the farmer's so nice. Maybe he'll do better. I like to have a beer with him.
Yeah, it just drives me nuts that he, Trump, you ask him something, he never sticks with what you ask him. He jumps to something else.
He just started, I don't know where he went. He went somewhere. And then people go, what he's saying, it's, by the way, perfect deflection. Because people will be like, I agree with him. But wait, that had nothing to do with what she asked. You know what I mean?
It's a politician's dodge, right? Like you ask a question, you start off by answering it, and then you quickly divert to something else. But normally, if you're somebody that's well versed in debating and oratory, and like if you're a lawyer and you have some cross-examination skills, like if you understand that sort of thing, you answer the question a little better than just one sentence, and then you just go off some fucking
and like
soliloquy about this and that. Started talking politics and fucking, like his entire response did not address the question. If I was that lady, I'd ask the question again, like that. Like could you actually answer the question? Like you did not answer the question.
To be fair to the people doing, like the politicians doing, why do they ask 1,300 questions in one and think these people are gonna? That's like the perfect breeding ground for deflection. They just have to find one thing they want to answer, and it seems, you know what I mean? That's like, they're like, and this, and what about this, and this. You think he's listening past the first sentence?
Do you know who's moderating tonight or mediating it or whatever you want to call it?
Oh, it was ABC, right? Somebody from ABC.
Yeah, I was wondering, because I like to see sometimes a good mediator or whatever you call it helps.
Moderator.
I've never seen one of those.
Talk about it.
Mediator, moderator.
Was that the? I forget exactly who it is. I forget.
Savannah Guthrie, didn't she do it the last time or something? Last election?
The Biden debate was Jake Tapper and
Jake Tapper and somebody else. I forgot
who the other one was.
Tapper's an idiot though.
Yeah, that was they might as well have just blown fucking Trump while he was on stage. They fucking made it so easy.
That would have been more interesting.
Maybe fact check him once, and they won't fact check him tonight either. I guarantee it, because they know he'll throw a fucking tantrum and he'll go all over media, social media, talking about how they weren't fair to him.
To be fair, does anyone on the face of the planet, anyone in the chat, anyone in existence, has ever watched a debate and go, now I've learned something, or I want it, like really, or like this has been helpful? No.
Well, somehow in this country right now, there's still a large swath of undecided voters, which I don't know how to fuck.
That's not helping them.
It's either a rapist or somebody who's not a rapist. That's your two choices. But somehow there's undecideds. So yeah, like I said, Trump cannot gain or lose tonight. Only Kamala can gain or lose. That's it. The people
I
are
just
going to vote.
Get it. I don't get the point.
Are going to vote for him.
Trump appeals to the lowest common denominator of like the intellect and the electorate, right? Like he appeals to the people that are angry, displaced or dispossessed, disenfranchised in whatever way. They're out of work. Maybe their factory got outsourced to China. Like he appeals to people who are pissed. So it's a lot of fear mongering. So in a way,
everything's fear mongering.
He's become a coherent politician since his first term because he's learned to speak, in more of a political way. But I mean, he's still that same idiotic asshole. And really, what Trump is doing is like he's trying to divide the country along fear. So he's trying to scare people into voting for him, right? Like the border, right? All that shit about Venezuelans, like none of that's ever been proven to be true. None of it. Now, migrant crime is a problem. Border crossings are on the rise. But to say that's all being driven by criminal expulsion from Venezuela is just total bullshit.
To be fair,
many factors involved.
It's about fear, I find, in your country. Like voting, it has to
on the right wing, not on the left.
Oh no! I think it's either way because you're either afraid of it or you're like it's always has to be like a severe, like okay, I don't want to bring up topics, but like all of a sudden it's like we're talking about tampons, like as if that's like one specific fucking thing, and we're deciding the presidency, and now you're terrified or you're not terrified, and it's like, where's the big picture? Like, do we for 2 years? That's why I'm telling you.
You know, in a really strange way, right? Like, I almost wish Obama didn't get elected back then and it was Biden instead. And then Obama's running now, or he ran like in 16. Like, him versus Trump would be fucking epic. Epic. I mean, that would be a clear delineation.
I wish I had a unicorn.
Between Trumpism and hope and change. Yeah,
Obama would be 38 points ahead in every state.
It'd be a fucking landslide. We would have just annihilated him. And then his entire, like, his kids are going to probably think about running when Donald croaks, hopefully soon. You know, and like, you know, this whole Trumpism isn't going to go away. His kids are going to carry it on. Donald Trump Jr. is going to probably try to run for office, right? So it's like if Obama destroyed Trump in that first election in like a landslide, I mean, you just put that whole ideology to bed. And really what it does for me, right, Chris, is like FBS is like coming off the Obama years and like the hope and change. And a lot of that got tempered down later because obviously he got railroaded politically with the legislation he wanted to push forth. But to go from that to fucking Trump was just like an absolute shock to me. Like, it disappointed me greatly in terms of like the people, the way they think in this country around our politics. That you would vote in a man like that. Not like, that I'm a Hillary Clinton
But isn't that like
fan,
a racial thing in the States? Because they were like, oh, whatever we didn't like about him, it's probably because he's black, so let's go the other way. Isn't that kind
I mean, that's what it was. That's how I perceived it. The right wing would say otherwise, but I perceived it as like obstructionism. Just
I'm not saying everyone, by the way,
like racism.
Voted.
It was just like, we got the black guy in office. Doesn't matter what he tries to do. Pass a bill to help veterans. Pass a bill to help the middle class. We're just going to railroad it. We're just going to block it, and we're going to play politics and do all these filibusters and shit like that in the Senate. I mean, you know how much shit that Obama tried to get through that would have really helped now economically.
Even if they don't realize it, it's ingrained. You know what I mean? They made, like, I'm not saying people were like, oh, he's black, forget it. But I feel like it made people uncomfortable.
No, it was a lot of subconscious type of racism. You guys ever read Malcolm Gladwell? Malcolm Gladwell does a lot of like social commentary books, right? So he talked about like why there were some people in this country who swear up and down, like, I'm not racist, right? But then when they're walking down the street and they see, let's say, a black man approaching them that looks like whatever, they'll clutch their pocketbook a little harder, or they'll cross the street. That's like little subconscious things like that. And like what Malcolm Gladwell said was a lot of that has to do with just your subconscious and your experiences in life. Like, that lady probably hasn't been around enough African Americans, probably hasn't really engaged with them, but maybe doesn't have too many black friends. And even though in her mind and her heart she doesn't feel racist, she'll cross the street when she's coming across a black man because it's the unknown. It's that subconscious behavior, and I see a lot of that all over the country. I even see that in my own family. I mean, I have family in Ohio, right? I go over there to talk to them, and it's like you see some of that type of behavior, but it's because they're isolated up there. It's like 99% white, you know?
I say that all the time, that it's like, that's to me the biggest problem of anti-Semitism, because people think it's not there because Jews are successful, you know, that whole thing. I wish, but like, you know, they think it's not there, and then they say stuff, and they're like, "What? I didn't mean it as an insult." And the fact that like. That is the problem.
Yeah, you're normalizing racism and like offensive things, and it should never be normalized. You know, it should never be normalized. But then there's the other side of it, where you're like, everything is race now. Everything is racism. Everything is black and white,
but that's
right?
But to the other side of it, sometimes calling it out is like shaming it in a way, is like bringing it. Because I mean, recently I've been called a Jew whore and Jew this, and it's like, well, that's not insulting. You're Jewish. People don't understand why that's.
Well, why can't you just be a whore? Why do you have to be a Jew whore?
Well, that's it. I'm just a regular old whore. But
there you go. Like, take the racial ethnicity out of it. Why are you
marginalizing me? But no, but seriously, and then someone made like an Anne Frank joke about something at a wall, and I was like, "Don't you?" They're like, "But I love Anne Frank." I'm like, "That's the problem. That you think you're being nice, and you know what I mean? That's worse." In a way. So that's like what I'm talking about, is I don't even think people realize.
Yeah.
They don't realize because they're just so used to being around what they're used to, what they know, the comfort of familiarity, and people just don't really challenge themselves to have new experiences. Like, if you're from a city like I am,
no awareness.
Make sure everybody gets to talk, Jason. I got to slow you down.
Yeah, my bad.
I love Jason.
It's all good, bro.
Jason and Muzz, they're making my head spin.
So I'm so sorry. Jason was the only one understanding my wanting to bash my head into the wall the other day. So when that other guy was on your panel, oof, that one hurt.
Yeah. No,
so,
Jason, you're right about everything you're saying, though, bro. There's no
yeah,
doubt.
no, it's just like the best way to defeat racism is just like get everybody together and let's just all start interacting. That's why a lot of this diversity initiative, like I believe in it. It can go a little too far, like just cause you want to have everybody from a different group, but it's important to have differing voices and perspectives and to challenge yourself to go outside of your maybe the people you're normally hanging out with and just be comfortable and just expose yourself to other people. If you grow up in a city like I did, even if you don't want to, you're forced to because you just have immigrants and people from all over the world all around you. But across America, it's a little different. So I don't hold it against
like backwards
things
racism.
like that. Yeah, it's like a covert racism, right? Under the table racism. Or it's ignorance is really what I call it.
But like, you know when people tell like black people like you're so well spoken, I'm like that is racist.
That bothers me.
They don't even realize. It's like you meet a black person, the first thing you start telling them is how you love rap music.
Like,
why are you bringing that up?
Did you play? No, I guess you probably didn't play that clip I sent you. Within it, she was like, "Well, I come from Detroit, where there's rap," and she said it like that, and like the food's good, and I was like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." And that like it's that stuff, and I was like, It's like you wouldn't go up to a white person and be like, "You speak properly." You would expect someone to speak, and I'm like, so I don't know what that is, but that's like the overcorrection is racist too, I think.
Yeah, Tom Sheehy said, "Muzz, shut up. I never said that." What's he talking about exactly?
He has no idea. He just likes to troll during politics because nobody realizes he's not from the United States, and he loves this. And I always tell him, "Stop it! People are going to get mad at you." And he continues it. I'm like, he'll be whenever he's like, "Yeah, Republicans." He's fucking from Ireland, people, and people are like, "Right, Tom," and they agree with him, and he thinks it's hysterical.
Right, but
we would all be honored. I think I could speak for everybody here. We would all be honored if Tom would grab the link.
Absolutely. I was asking Tom to come on, but Tom was saying that I was.
Tom.
Come
on, Tom.
He said that I was mean to BEK because BEK called me a woke joke, and I called him out about that. I'm like, you know what? As long as you don't call me any like names, like you can say whatever you want, and I'll be fine with it. Like, just don't.
No, Tom
just don't attack me personally, and don't say things like woke joke and this and that. And we're good. You know, that's all it is, Tom. Hop on, man.
Peer pressure. Peer pressure, Thomas.
It is late there. It's like what, 11 p.m. there.
He's up.
Probably.
Come on, Thomas.
I'd love to hear his perspective.
Look who we have here. Look who we have here. You ready?
Yes,
I wasn't expecting this. What's up, Jeff?
What's up?
What's going on, Jeff?
Guys, I got to say one thing. As a human being and an American, I don't know how you can look at Kamala Harris and say, man, she is authentic. Man, she's authentic. I just don't see it.
Why is that?
Authentic as a politician or a human being?
Wait, who said that?
Just in general. I think she's a complete phony.
No, I mean, who said that she was authentic?
Jeff Nadeau.
No, I meant who said that she was authentic. I didn't hear anyone say it. So.
No, I think the thought that is that she's like the super authentic person, and I just found her so fake.
I don't get that from her.
They're all like that, Jeff.
They're all
politicians, you know. They're all fucking professional liars.
I mean, look, on the other side, you got a 79-year-old fucking lifelong con man who poses as a good businessman. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, you know, you got to remember, Jeff, this is the thing. We got two choices here. And unfortunately, you have to compare just the two to each other, you know, because it's like, who would be the best, you know? So when it comes to being phony, I mean, Jesus Christ, look at Donald.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
I don't know what you mean exactly about Kamala, but I mean, people say she's not genuine because they say that she used to say she was Indian and now she says that she's black. That's not true. You know, there's other things like that, but I don't really get it or see it, you know?
But can we agree with one thing that then again, like I'm aware that like whoever you back and I don't vote for Trump. I'm not voting for Kamala Harris. But what I'm trying to say is, like, at the end of the day, there's always going to be an excuse, you know, reason why what I'm saying is you can make the case for the other side. But the truth is, in 3.5 years, Kamala Harris has been essentially MIA vice president. She's done very little. Now, all of a sudden, in a month or two, she's going to now run the country and be ready to go. I mean, whether or not you
I don't
want
know
to
much
agree,
about her.
the border is an absolute embarrassment. You can't allow people to just aimlessly walk into this.
Everybody here agrees about that. Left and right wing, everybody agrees with that, Jeff. There's one party, there's one party trying to fix that, and one party railroading it based on Trump's political aspirations. That's really what's happening. He's railroading whatever.
The problem is the Republicans, not the Democrats. We know how the Democrats are going to vote. It's too many of my Republican colleagues are unwilling to vote to secure the border.
First, there was an effort to make law, which requires you to deal with Democrats. And then our nominee for president didn't seem to want us to do anything at all. That took months.
Everybody who comes on this floor and says our border's broken, we should do something about it, you're absolutely right. And unfortunately, we didn't get there. President Trump opposed a Senate bill. We couldn't find a better way forward that would get 60 votes.
It was painful to be able to watch. It got stirred up in all the presidential politics, and several of my colleagues started looking for ways after President Trump said, don't fix anything during the presidential election. It's the single biggest issue during the election. Don't resolve this.
That's on Donald Trump, Senator, not Democrats.
Right.
And that's what, and that's why I cannot vote for either side. They don't, and this is a tale as old as time. These people don't care about you, me, and the rest of the people here. They don't.
No. And I understand you're not voting for anybody. If you said you were voting for Trump, then I'd be very curious as to why. But
no,
that makes sense. I hear that from a lot of people, Jeff. That most people are going to abstain. I heard that in 2016 when Trump was running. I'm going to abstain. I'm going to abstain. But
yeah, I think that's the real sad part
sad.
of all this. Is that,
though, I would say though, right? You have the right to not vote or vote for who you want. But I just feel like if you don't vote, then you really don't have much of an opinion to give because you didn't vote. That's just my personal opinion. That's not an attack on you, Jeff.
I agree with that.
Like the people who don't vote, I'm like, you got no skin in the game. You didn't vote. That's how I feel.
But why do I have to vote? These two individuals are not cut out to command a country. Of course, I'm going to complain.
That's your opinion.
350 million people in this country, and we have these are the two candidates.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
with
but that's
you have to.
That's what's always going to be said. I think you're ignoring a lot of Kamala's accomplishments. You know what I mean? A lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure I know of any. I mean, I think she was a disaster as a leader in California. And there's one thing I think all of us can agree on.
Hold on, before you say that, is becoming district attorney an accomplishment? Is becoming attorney general an accomplishment? Is becoming a senator an accomplishment? And then a vice president, and then the nominee?
She came from a middle class background. Both her parents are academics. She didn't come from money like Trump did.
Yeah. So.
Quick question, because people say like, oh, she did nothing as vice president and then wants to be president. What about everyone who runs for president before they're vice president? I don't understand that.
That's a good point because vice presidents traditionally are in the shadows. Like, what did Biden do? Nothing. Like, what do vice presidents ever do? Like, fucking nothing. And the Cheney was the one vice president who did something, and that was a fucking disaster, right? So.
If Kamala changed the world, if she cured fucking childhood cancer as vice president, they'd still be saying this.
Let's be honest. She's also a woman, and that does bother a lot of people. I'm not saying it's the only reason.
24, really? Wow. I mean, to me it doesn't. But, yeah.
The truth of the matter is,
I heard someone the other day saying, that's why I can't talk about politics with women. They're too emotional.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's male chauvinism right there at play. So, I mean, if you're against her because she's a woman, then you're just a fucking idiot, in my opinion. But, it's 24.
But I think that's another thing, like the racism, that's like kind of covert in a way that people don't realize it necessarily.
What were you going to say, Jeff? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say the truth of the matter is, whoever the president is, very few people's lives will change much at all.
Very true.
And that's the sad reality of being president now. These two-party systems they just don't want to make the other party look good. Look, the case in point, what you just played there, the border is a talking point, and it's very important to this election. Yet these politicians on both sides will hold it up because they're trying to make it look like we did this. We're the reason for the improvement. It's just it really makes you as a person that lives in this country downtrodden on how you can get behind any of this shit.
It makes you jaded and a cynic for sure. That part I agree.
Right. 100%.
Yeah. Maybe I'm a little too idealistic. I still feel like, voting is an important right to exercise, even though my one vote out of fucking 200 million won't really count.
I know what you're saying.
And my life won't change. Socioeconomically, like my taxes won't go up or down that much. It's not like I'm going to get a fucking $80,000 raise next year or something like that, right? But I don't know. I care about the country. I care about the direction we go, and I care about the way we talk about each other and our politics. And I feel like with Trump in office, it's going in that bad right-wing direction that's going to lead to some extremism and violence. We've already seen violence with Trump.
No,
he's disagreeing about politics, but he's just bad for the country as a demagogue. He's divisive.
He's definitely
That's
a
my
very
issue with him.
divisive guy, and he's changed the outlook of, being able to have a conversation with people.
Right. Like we're doing now, right? We can't do that with Trump people because they just get crazy with the one-liners and the slogans.
Yeah, used to be able to have disagreements, and look, I know people on both sides that they may not talk to me because I have a certain talking point or belief. Like, look, the truth is, I don't care if I side with one side or the other. I don't believe that we should, and it's just my opinion, I don't believe we should be killing babies 3 or 4 months into pregnancies. That's just my opinion. I think that certain Democratic cities are hellholes because we don't put people in prison. I think that's a major problem, and that's not on who's president. I mean, some cities have been dangerous for decades, and it really comes down to just what they do or don't care about. But if you don't
country thing.
Every single thing, people cast you as, oh, you're this, or like there's a guy on these shows, Lee Cole.
Where's Lee Cole lately?
Yeah, at one point I said that I was Barack Obama to me was a very promising guy. Like, how could you not look at what his journey was and be impressed by that?
Hope and change. Yes, we can. Right?
He threw me into I'm a liberal, and he didn't even know my politics.
Do you guys know the fable of like the king who asked everyone to bring like what Jesse said reminded me of it, to bring a bottle of wine so he could have a giant of like your best wine. Every family had to bring their best wine, and he needed a whole tub of wine. And one family's like, fuck it, we're just gonna fill it with water. He won't know the difference. And then what happens? Eventually you get there and all he has is water because everyone thought the same thing. When she said that, when everyone says one vote won't matter, there's also that side of it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think all of the people that are on this panel have particularly strong thoughts on. They have certain opinions. Yeah. Like, I'm sure FPS. I'm sure there's an opinion or two you have that is not blue driven. Like you obviously want a safe country. You want to be able to walk down the street and not worry about a violent criminal hurting you or your family. Like, we all want that, right? We all want, whether we care or not. We don't want to pay significantly more constantly at the store or whatever. I think that's a norm with all.
Well, that's why, but you got to look at things when making a decision. Like, for example, what you just said, violent crime was up under Trump. It's down right now, and it has been for years. Okay, that's one thing. What was the other thing you said about?
You agree though that like the president really doesn't, like, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, like the president really doesn't affect like how crime is in San Antonio.
Well, then why'd you just say that though?
No, I said
isn't it?
No, I said we all want everyone. We all want everyone.
Yeah, no. I think a lot of people generally want the same thing.
Because at the end of the day,
let me go
Democratic
back to
policies have ruined cities. They just have. Democratic people,
Republican policies.
No, Democratic people like Larry Krasner and all these people in these big cities don't prosecute criminals. And
but that's the problem. It's the
let me quickly respond to that. So I think that's true, but you got to look at it on a city by city basis.
It's not true that they don't prosecute. That's not true.
So
they prosecute.
If you look at statistics, like FPS said, violent crime was up under Trump, and it was down under Biden. Now administrations don't control crime. What they control is the Department of Justice by placing the person they want in there, and they affect high-level policy, which trickles down, and it impacts the response to crime, but it doesn't control crime itself. I would say what you're saying, Jeff, is a lot of anecdotal type of talking point evidence.
No, it isn't.
Some of it's true, some of it isn't. Like, you can look at certain big cities and see crime going down, Democrats prosecuting people. You can look at other big cities that Republicans control, and it's the reverse.
Words
right?
matter.
I told you, crime is higher. Crime is higher right now in Oklahoma City than it is in New York City.
But listen what Jeff said. Jeff said ruined cities. That's what I'm saying is, listen, that's subjective. So that right there is, like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying maybe he sees it as that and Jason doesn't. Do you know what I mean? When people say stuff, I find often these debates, watching it from the outside, that everyone's talking in like fluff. land.
Yeah,
Like,
the details
you
matter here.
ruin
The
this,
details
the
matter.
border this, and it's like nothing in specifics. Like,
Jeff is
I
right
think
to a degree,
Exactly.
but there's
I'll
nuance
just say,
there. Yeah.
I'll just say, and then I'll jump off. I think this country, if Kamala Harris wins, would be significantly worse off than Donald Trump.
But tell me why though. But don't just
because in
jump off. Tell me why.
2019, because I look at my life in 2019, and my life was cheaper per day. My life, I think, for in large parts, was safer. I didn't have to worry about tens of thousands of people that we don't know who they are coming in
Yes, you did.
undocumented.
no,
Yes, you
you
did.
do though.
No, it
That was
didn't.
happening back
Not
then.
at this
There's
level.
illegal immigration.
Not at
You
this
didn't
level.
stop
though.
illegal immigration.
Can I just say your
No,
border
we
in the
never
south
have.
is not the problem?
We never have done that, but
I'm
not
so
at this
tired
level.
of hearing about the fucking border, huh?
No, because
It's
Why?
not the president who makes the times.
overstay
The
tourist
times
visa.
make the presidents. Remember that. The times make the presidents.
Jason, Jeff, you can't say, you got to remember something. And I go over this constantly. You can't say out of one side of your mouth, there was more money in my pocket, or I
There
want
was.
things to be
I mean,
cheaper.
But why?
And then on the other side, hold on. And then on the other side, say, but I want, no immigration, period. No illegal immigrants. I want mass deportation. I want this.
No, I don't want
problem
that.
fixed.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, like, we used to be. We're a country where you come to make it. Like that's always what we've been.
The American dream.
Right. And if you're a person that, let's say you're from Syria and you're escaping a civil war, and you're a follower of rules, and you come in and you do what you're supposed to do, you should come here. But
do you know I couldn't get in as a Canadian with a master's degree? You know, it's
but
not
Mars,
that
let
easy.
me ask you, do you do, and this is just the truth. We like this organized crime stuff. Organized crime groups, large organized crimes, are looking at this as, we're a soft on crime, we're soft on border. Go to America. Let's set up shop there. And that's exactly what's happening. Like,
Right, but it's not in theory, because like for me, so most of your
You don't
your
think that it's
immigrants
just the opportunity,
most
Jeff?
of your
The
illegal
opportunity?
immigrants overstay their tourist visa.
Because I'll tell you right now, if I was the president of Venezuela, I would empty out all my prisons and say, go to America. Just get away from here.
That's what everyone thinks is happening. That's not happening.
And that's exactly
Hold
what
on,
happened in
though.
Miami in the 80s.
That is not what's happening, though. There is
100,000
zero proof of
Cubans.
that. That's what Trump is
100,000
trying to tell
Cubans, bro.
people. There is zero proof of that's what's happening. Zero proof.
More people overstay.
There's zero.
Get
I
on a
don't know.
plane and stay
There's
past
no
90 days.
proof.
There's
Venezuela
no
itself
proof,
is run
Jeff,
by
that
Maduro.
jails, prisons, insane asylums, or anything else are being emptied out into this country like Trump wants.
Well, I'm
people
not
to
saying
do.
I'm saying if I were a president in those countries, that's what I would do. I would say, leave. Go ahead. Go. We know you're going to go to America. Go there. We don't, as long as you're not here. I mean, I have to figure that.
but
Not a bad idea. Can we expel all our prisoners to Russia or some shit like that? Or North Korea? That'd be a great idea.
I mean, if
Wait,
that's
don't
what you
prisoners
think,
make the
Jeff, then
country
you should
money?
be worried about politics in those countries and not in ours. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I absolutely am.
Talk about gangster cronyism in Venezuela with Maduro, dude. That guy's a fucking piece of
Thank
work.
you, Matt. Thank you so much, bro.
Wait a minute.
People donate, please. Donate. Come on. Go ahead, Jeff.
Eric, by the way, I'm not comparing. I'm just saying it's not it's not as easy. Trust me. I had a whole ass temporary after school visa situation, and basically no one would hire me because it's too much money to do it legally.
What were you trying to get? One of those H-1B1 visas?
No,
or
so I
something to
had yes, but I had the 1 year extension after your degree, so you can
Right.
because it takes a year to get it. Everyone thinks it's so easy. Nobody's
No.
hiring you a year before you get there. So
You got to
this
get
gives you the
sponsored
year.
for it. Yeah.
And most places that would have hired me, I said I'll get my own lawyer, pay it myself. They're like, not worth it. Like literally, I had two options, and I was kind of deported, not really, but you know what I mean. It's not that easy. But a lot of people just fly in and stay past their 90 days. That's way more common.
Most illegal immigrants do not come in through the border.
Yeah.
They come here on a fucking plane.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
you
that's
just stay past
facts.
90
Look it
days.
up. That's facts. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you.
Nobody's worried about the northern border. It's only those goddamn Mexicans they're worried about.
No,
You know
no.
what I mean? They don't give a fuck.
So I guess I'd ask. I mean, so you let's just say next door to your house, there were illegal immigrants selling dope out of the house. Would you be wouldn't you want the government to do something about that?
Yeah, but
I
that's
spent my
hyperbole.
entire life with illegal immigrants next door.
But yeah, you don't think that? So would you allow them to just walk through your yard undetected? You would be all right with that?
No, but that's where you take responsibility for your
That's what's
property and
happening.
you do
What do you
everything
mean,
you
what?
can to
That's
keep
what's
yourself
happening.
safe.
No, I'm saying of course but that's
Jeff, you're dealing
the
with
government
that?
to do it is
Hold on.
hyperbole.
But that's what I'm saying.
Jeff,
that's happening on the
Jeff,
southern
you're dealing
border.
with that?
Well, of course
You
I'm
got
not. I live in
Mexican
Pennsylvania,
people?
but
Okay, exactly.
But in
This is
places
not
like
a problem as affecting as much of America as they want you to think it is.
But so the people of Eagle Pass, Texas, should have to deal with that. There's an 800-mile stretch between Texas and Mexico.
Of course
800
not, but
miles.
Americans shouldn't have to deal with homelessness and lack of health. There's a lot of things people shouldn't have to deal with. But saying that's like I want a unicorn. You have to pick something.
Listen,
you know what I mean?
fair.
And specifically,
There's always going to be problems.
Like,
and
you
by
have
the
to
way,
pick something.
again, I'm not going to let the fact go that for everybody in the chat and even Jeff talking about the border, they've tried to fix it. Biden and Kamala.
No, and that's where
Republicans ain't having it.
No, he's saying nobody wants to fix it because they all want to use it again.
And that's the sad.
Even the Republicans wanted it. Trump said no. It'll give Biden a win. That's what he said. We can't.
That's a great point that Harris should be throwing right in his face tonight. I want to hear her say that constantly.
Well, that's a sad reality of that.
I mean, that's just politics, right? And they all do it. They're all professional liars. We can attribute a lot of negative things to politicians. I think we would all agree, left and right. There's one person who acts like Donald Trump, though. Believe me, Jeff, he's taking it to a new, lower level.
If people said, I think he's a pig and a criminal, whatever, and I still want him to be president, I'd be like, okay, but stop pretending he's.
Well, I think a lot of people too, like Timothy
That's all I'm
Sullivan.
saying.
Timothy Sullivan saying, "Let's fix this mess." I don't think, as we were saying, like just because Trump, if he wins, your life probably won't be significantly different either. That's I think where I agree here with these guys is
in terms of taxes, it might change a little, but not in a way that's going to impact
what I wanted to ask
me
you.
like tremendously.
As the Canadian here, this is my assumption.
The economy is the envy of the world. It's the greatest economy in the world. People think the economy is bad because grocery prices and gas.
Gas prices. I just filled up in Ohio a couple weeks ago, literally at empty, and then did it again here, literally at empty. $20 difference in the same currency.
I know that I just filled my tank to the brim and it was $31 fucking dollars.
Go to
I got
hell.
no problem with gas prices.
I remember Pronsky the other day. FBS was talking about how like America, it's not the same manufacturing base like it used to be, which is true. And we have competitors like China, which is true. And then he said something like, they have a bigger economy and they're doing better. Wrong. You look at GDP, right? Gross domestic product, which is the number one economic indicator of like a lot of things, right? I mean, a lot of things. America is by and far leading in that regard by a lot. Still over China, still over everybody.
I think America
down here. Yeah, go ahead.
I think America leads by like $8 trillion in terms of that.
Yeah.
And, like I will say too, and I've noticed this a lot over the years, no matter what. My father always told me, he said, these people, you ever notice it's always the people that make excuses about their life in general and they blame everything on politics, right?
Yes.
If this guy was around, I would be better. And then when that guy comes around and their life's not any better, it's this or it's that. I think the truth that I know is my life won't change much. In fact, at all. I might pay a little bit less when I buy something, but it's not going to change quickly.
But you'll pay more in taxes, and you'll actually pay more when you buy something because Trump's plan is those tariffs, and those tariffs are going to affect us with damn near everything we buy. A 10% tariff on every fucking thing.
And that's a stupid way to have war economically too. A tariff war. That's dumb.
Oh, it's idiotic. And people are wondering if he even knows what tariffs are because he keeps saying they're a tax on a foreign country, and they are not. They're not. This is just like when he says that illegals are coming here and getting visas. He thinks that or getting credit cards. He thinks that a visa is just a credit card. He doesn't know anything. He says that people are coming from insane asylums because he doesn't know what the word asylum means when people say they're coming here for asylum. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, people have studied this motherfucker and they're like, wait a minute. Yeah, they think he keeps saying they're coming from insane asylums because he doesn't know the word asylum. He only associates it with a mental hospital. And then visa, same thing. He keeps saying that illegal immigrants are coming here and getting credit cards. So what they figured out is he most likely thinks when people are saying visa, they're talking about credit cards. He's a fucking moron.
Can I make a quick point about economics here, right? Just very quickly. So the other day when you were debating with
Jason, come on, don't say quickly. We know.
It'll be quickly for me. So like, this is my problem. This is my problem with people who are right-wing Republicans who sort of vote that way. And then they expect economically their lives to get better in some kind of way. Like, they're voting economically right-wing. That's a big sort of like contradiction to me, right? So think about it. Supply side Republican economic policy since the Reagan era, right? Give the money to the people at the top, let them create businesses, and then the jobs will all trickle down, the wealth, all of that will trickle down, right? We've seen that for 80 years.
But that doesn't really ever happen, though.
Oh, yeah, but then there's a reason why the purchasing power of the dollar is as low as it is. Why inflation, which happens every year under every administration since the beginning of capitalism, it's always happened, but it's happened at a higher rate for many reasons. But it hurts us more as consumers because of the purchasing power of the dollar. Why is the purchasing power of the dollar so low? Because look at the average wage that's been paid since the 80s to the American worker versus what CEOs and all that. And that wealth inequality drives a lot of that. Look at all the Republican side policies that allow corporations to get taxed less, that allow them to go take all their manufacturing and just offshore it or outsource it to China, India, Sri Lanka, whatever fucking country, no disrespect to countries, where they're working for $1 a day like no bathroom breaks, right? That's what's hurting the American economy in terms of manufacturing and jobs and keeping everything within America. It's Republicans and their policies favoring the rich who allow these people to go off and just offshore everything. Democrats are trying to hold corporations socially responsible, tax them a little more, keep jobs here, give some benefits and incentives to keep things here. And I'm not saying that's going to change your life dramatically, but I guarantee you, we have 2 Democratic administrations back to back, let's say 8 years, 16 years, where they have Keynesian economic policies with a little bit of socialism, not a lot, just a little bit more, where you're sort of giving people a little bit more and you're taking a little more from the rich and you're evening that gap and you're building business here and you're keeping it here, you're keeping it all in-house. That's the way to combat inflation. That's the way to bring back the American economy. So if you're voting Republicans for economic policy, you're just misguided.
But
I'm done.
Isn't it like every 2 years they just try to undo what the other one did? So like
exactly, that's the problem. There's no continuity with anything.
That's the
it
only
just keeps
reason I'm
changing.
saying, like, does it really, like, okay, to be fair, because you have to do it for 2 years and all the lobbyists and the bajillions of dollars that could probably cure your country, but whatever. When you get to the convention, doesn't literally like the party hand you the pamphlet and say, I'm glad you promised all these things, but here's what you're running off of. Here's actually what you're going to do because all the rich people gave us money for it. Isn't that really what happens? You know what I mean? So like, does it really matter what they say in a way?
To an extent, but again, I think there's levels to it. I think it's worse on one side than the other. You know what I mean?
There is. It takes time for economic policy to really take effect and for us to measure it through all the metrics and the data that comes in.
I think
a lot of what Obama did, you saw in the Trump administration, he took a lot of credit for the policies that came about that brought that prosperity. Trump took credit for that. Obama got saddled with a recession that Bush Jr. fucked the economy up with deregulation and you know what I'm saying? All that subprime mortgage collapse shit that happened.
I think when Biden, when they pulled Biden, that's when Trump lost. And Trump will walk right into the trap tonight. He'll start bashing her. He'll start doing, and she,
of course,
she's whether or not you like her or not, she's significantly smarter than him, and he's again, it's always gonna be the same talking points. He's gonna call her Commie Kamala, all that stuff.
Say her hair's pretty or something.
Yeah.
I hope she has a couple
and
of
Eric,
names
by the
for
way, Eric, the 9/11 terrorists came through the fucking northern border. Why aren't we worried about that if it's about terrorism? Serious. Anyway, go ahead, guys. Sorry, what happened? Everybody stop talking.
I'm giving somebody else a chance to talk. I got a lot to say still.
And also remember too, that the 9/11 terrorists, that there was a significantly different time in America. It was, as far as getting here wasn't as.
You don't know what you don't know until it happens.
They came on planes. It's not like Muhammad Atta walked through the border to America.
But that's what we're saying, though. That's exactly what happens with most illegal immigrants. They come here on fucking planes. You know what I mean? All this bullshit about building a wall and stuff. Do you know how a little effect that's going to have on the overall amount of illegal immigration or the overall number?
It's really sad, too, because I feel like whoever says the wall stuff thinks Americans are so dumb that they're like, oh, literally put a wall and we could stop people. Like, they're going to stop it. That's not how most people, you know what I mean? Like, that's not going to fix your problem. I'm not saying it's not a problem, but that's not going to fix the problem.
No, of course not. No, it's a Band-Aid. That's all.
I mean, you got people who think there's a flat earth. They just got to walk over the corner. Anyway, sorry.
Well, a lot of people that vote for Trump think that the people that are coming into America are transporting all the fentanyl, and that's why fentanyl is such a problem. And they don't realize that most of the fentanyl that comes into America comes through ports and through the actual
of course.
you know, like driving.
Well, they've been
border.
convinced of all this shit. They, if half these motherfuckers, if they got in a car accident tomorrow, they'd blame it on illegals.
Can you
know what I
imagine?
mean? This is what they got in their heads 24
People
hours a
walking
day.
over, their
It's the
pockets.
only issue they talk about. The only issue they think about is the goddamn fucking border. These fucking
fear.
Mexicans coming through. You know, come on, like shut the
fear,
fuck
though.
up, bro.
It's
I'm so
fear.
tired.
What it
Here.
is like
Oh
we
my
need more parties in this country because really you got two options and there's a lot of nuance in between.
Exactly.
And we need multiple parties and we need like ranked choice voting, like runoff voting, right? There's
You need
multiple
2
rounds
months.
of voting and then you get left with the two that have the most votes at the end. I mean, you got to put people through the ringer, I think, and
I agree.
and have some more viewpoints because there's a lot of nuance. You lump everybody into the left wing. Like I call myself a Democrat, but there's certain things that I'm conservative on, right? Like
everyone has nuance.
You think about the issues, but at the end of the day, you got two parties. You got to go one or the other, so you fall down on one. I don't put it beyond myself in 10, 15, 20 years when I get a little older, my son's grown, that I could be a Republican or a centrist, right? But I'll tell you this, though, I'll never, ever be a Trumpian. I'll never support that ideology.
He's not a Republican, so
He's
there you
not.
go.
He's hijacked the party. He's co-opted the entire party. It's really
That's another thing you can convince his people
over the
of.
party. Yeah, they're
He's
going to
not a
look back
Republican.
and they're going to have a whole study on how he co-opted and took over the whole party. What happened to the American electorate, the disenfranchised, the angry people coming out. You know, like there's going to be a whole study on this. And I'll tell you something right now. Like they'll look back in 100 years as like, what the fuck were people doing or thinking during this time? Like, you know, they'll be like, what the fuck? You know, like why would you ever elect somebody like Trump? But he's a demagogue. He's a fascist. He's nobody that history hasn't seen before. There's a lot of parallels with Hitler. But I'll say this, and I say this with all due respect to everybody, right? Trump's not going to win. I believe that in my heart. And 50 years when they write about this time, to all of you who voted for him, you're going to just be on the wrong side of history. That's all I'll say. I don't want to be divisive, but I really believe that. If you support Trump, you'll be on the wrong side of history one day. That's all.
I think,
back in the 30s, right? Wrong side of history.
I think it's about as even as an election as you'll find.
Right now, I think the polls are swinging the other way because there's been a lot of talk about Kamala's not specific on policy or she's too extreme
Which
about
is
policy.
so absurd. Motherfuckers, nobody in this fucking chat right now could tell me the last time Trump talked about policy, period.
Doesn't matter.
And they're talking about the bar is raised so much higher for Kamala. Trump could go out on stage tonight and lie 50 times. And if Kamala says one thing the wrong way, all the focus from all the media, left wing and right wing, will be focused on her. It's like, oh, he's just a fuck up. We know that.
Do you think there's anything? I'm curious about this. Do you think there's anything Trump is right on?
I think he's right about going after China because China has to be confronted economically. They do fuck around with their currency. They do a lot of underhanded shit.
He's right, but he's not going to do it.
But the way to do it is not a fucking tariff war. That's like a price war in the airline industry. What happens? The prices go up for everybody. You ruin the entire industry. Now nobody wants to buy airlines.
And also, one thing I have noticed about like Trump folks is, and again, I've waited for an answer and no one's ever given me it. When it comes to like Ukraine, when it comes to Israel, should you just allow Vladimir Putin to do whatever he wants and let's let him march through Europe? And you look at, whether or not, and I don't want to, I know people are, divisive in talking about this. The truth of the matter is that land is Palestine's. It has been. It's been their land for years. In fact, they're recognized by I think 100 countries as a sovereign nation. Why does Israel think you can just?
Well, it's based on history. Israel, like the leadership. I mean, this is sort of the opinion of the country as a whole that I gather because I have Israeli friends in New York. It's historically based in biblical times. It was the land of Israel.
Israelis are the most well versed, says the person who.
I'm just saying like that's sort of the main viewpoint. It's like the land historically belonged to the Jews. Historically belonged to the Jews. That's what I hear.
The people on the kibbutzim who helped to cultivate and make the country even before it were also Jewish and not. That's the thing. It wasn't Palestine. Even in the Bible, it wasn't called that necessarily.
Are we going to start talking about Israeli Palestine? Because we could be here another 3 days.
No, I'm just saying, I'm just saying, we can't just allow those large countries to just do what they want to do.
I totally
he's
agree.
doing
There
that
has to
because
be a
it's
balance.
Russia. He wants Russia to win that war and be able to take over the Ukraine.
Well, the reason
He'll
he
do
left-
anything for Putin.
Who's all about Russian Empire, not Soviet Union, bringing it back. He's about implementing the Russian Empire, making Russia like a new America with power. You know, that's what he wants.
The reason
he's convinced all his people that helping an ally is a bad thing. Helping an ally fight a war against one of our enemies is a bad thing. He's convinced them of that. And by the way, I got to jump in when I see shit like this, Eric. I know you to be a little smarter than this, Eric. That's not what happened. This is just a right-wing talking point that Tim Walz just put tampons in boys' bathrooms. What he did is he made it so that all schools in his state have tampons available to these students. Do you think in any way, shape, or form he means for them to be available for fucking boys? That's just something people say now. He explained exactly why he did it. He didn't want, little girls and stuff are uncomfortable. They get their fucking periods. They might not have spoken to their parents about it yet. They don't have the resources or the money or whatever to go out and get their own fucking tampons. So he made it so that tampons are available for those girls in those schools. That's it. That's all it is. And you've turned it into he put tampons in boys' bathrooms. Okay, sure.
Oh, he's not the only one. I hear that all the time.
Hey, before I go, can I just play a funny TikTok? You'll get a kick out of this. It's only about 10 seconds long, and it's funny. I promise. Hang on. Hey, Chris, you got to play this.
He promised. So.
TikTok, China's getting your data. Watch out.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you guys see this guy. He's pretty funny. Hang on.
So the pro-family party wants to make fun of Walz's son for being proud of his dad.
I can't really hear it.
Oh, you can't? Oh, fuck. Sorry. Essentially what he does is he just has these funny videos against everything that Trump people do. I don't know. It's funny. I don't know if you guys seen this guy. He's pretty funny.
No, I've never seen him, but I did hear it. I don't know why FBS did him.
He's got an Antifa shirt. So
he's basically saying the family party, the Trump family party makes fun of Tim Walz's son for crying about his dad, and it just doesn't make any sense.
It's fucking disgusting. Disgusting what they did to that kid. Only the animals on the right. You'd never see some shit like that on the left. Never. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. They're making fun of a fucking a special needs child because he was crying because his dad just gave a speech and is running for vice president.
All due respect, I'm not special needs, and I would cry if that were my dad. I mean, that's pretty.
That's why you're a little special needs.
I cry all the time.
But your dad becomes, anytime your father or mother does something,
you're proud.
Really great. Just like they would be if I did something cool,
Wait, people make fun of that. What's wrong with people? Oh, many things.
Oh, yeah. People are just like, oh, it's so cringy. This is so cringy.
Cringy. So close your eyes if it's cringy. That's my answer. Close your fucking eyes.
It's unbelievable. The things they find cringy, it's unbelievable. The things they don't find cringy, it's even more unbelievable. Seriously.
Did you wait? Hey, I didn't know, and I just found out recently. Dumb Canadian here. I didn't know that you guys, every time there's an election, have a new committee deciding the rules that are different every time. Is that true?
What do you mean the rules?
I heard there was a committee that decides. I don't know. We have.
I think there are two actually. I think there
are the rules in our democracy have been ingrained in history.
No, not democracy as itself, but the logistics of it.
Oh, the actual election, how the vote counts work, election officials and things like that.
Yeah,
I think so.
All that stuff. It's just I didn't know
but that's state. That would be state by state. That would be
state, right. There's no federal election committee.
But we have an Elections Act that's it's in the budget. Now, again, we're not perfect, but we do have 3 viable parties because they only can run from 37 to 51 days or 31 to 57. I'm not sure. And it's in the budget, and any day over that is a literal fraction of the it's literally, and you can only donate so much. That's, I think, why we have 3, sometimes 4 viable parties.
Hey, guys, I'm going to jump off. Enjoy the debate, all right?
All right, bro.
Thanks,
good talking to you, Jeff. Take care.
See you later.
Another thing I want to say to like Eric's comment, it's so funny how they cherry pick. They take this bullshit rumor that Tim Walz put tampons in boys' bathrooms. They make it, what they want to do is turn it into a whole transgender thing. And that's not at all what happened. That's not what it is at all. That's not the policy. That's not why they implemented it. Okay. But they failed to mention that the motherfucker made it so that a free each kid in that fucking state, in every school in that state, gets free breakfast and free school lunch. Now, if you're somebody who is against that, I would love to hear your fucking logic as to why that's a bad thing. You know, you have nothing to say about Tim Walz because he's the fucking man. He's a guy who was in the military 24 years. He was a school teacher, a football coach. He made it into Congress, and now he's running for vice president. You can't find shit to say about him. So it's like, let's just lie about the tampon thing. Let's just lie about it over and over, no matter how many times it's debunked. You know, but you don't pay attention to the fact that J.D. Vance, his entire life story is a complete and total fraud. It's made up. The whole fucking thing is a lie. The guy's like a robot. He has no charisma. He doesn't even know how to communicate with people in real fucking life. You know what I mean? He's another just a millionaire dickhead who came up in Silicon Valley, basically. Okay, and you know, they leave all these things out. They don't. There's a million different things to say about J.D. Vance. The motherfucker, he thinks that people who don't have children are sociopaths. He thinks they're psychotic. Okay, he wants childbirth by any means necessary, no abortion, no exceptions, not rape, not incest, nothing. He wants no fucking exceptions. All he wants is babies being born. Then he says something like, don't worry about childcare because the postmenopausal women in your life, it's their job to take care of your children. I mean, this is, he's so out of touch, and you guys ignore all that. And you say to Tim Walz putting tampons in bathrooms, that's just a bridge too far. This fucking madman. Do you believe what he did?
Excellent point. Excellent point. Yeah.
Free tampons,
That's
the
the
sick
thing.
bastard.
It's the fear mongering, I think.
In my lifetime, there's been no party better at mudslinging than the Republicans. Ever since I remember when I was like with the whole Bush Gore election, even dating back to when Clinton was running against like Bob Dole, like they were trying all sorts of shit on him. And the Democrats finally came around to the idea that, hey, we're getting our asses kicked in these, Bush Jr. won twice. So now we got to sling some mud. And then Obama came in and they were like, all right, we don't need to sling too much mud. We just go off of merit. But I think that the Democrats have finally come around to some mudslinging. They just don't need to do it as often because the candidates they generally put up, there's not a lot of shit you can dig up on them. They're pretty clean compared to Republicans. I mean, look at Trump. I mean, the guy, like the fact that he's even ascended to be in a position to where people elect this man. I mean, that's just an absolute shock to me. It's really like a sort of it's just an absolute shock. Like I would have never thought people would have voted him. And what I've realized though is he tapped into an anger, sort of a way of thinking and like a feeling that was out there, but you couldn't really put your finger on it, but it was there. He tapped into that and he rode that all the way. So forget his character. The man can get up there, punch a baby in the face. His cult of personality will never change. And it's really just that anger and angst among a lot of the population that exists that he's tapped into, that buy into what he's doing. And again, he's appealing to sort of the fear and the lowest common denominator among us, you know? It's just really sad for me to see that.
Fear.
Because I could have a healthy opinion of a contesting Republican candidate. I wouldn't vote for him and I'd be against policies and issues, but I could have a healthy viewpoint. Like John McCain. Totally respect him.
Because he's
I never vote for him, but I respect him tremendously as a man, as a human being, as a veteran, as a politician. Donald Trump engenders none of those feelings, right? So that's kind of my point of why Trump is all wrong. It's not just his character; it's what he brings out of people and how divisive he is and the direction he wants.
Well, we know who the bad people are now.
He does it well,
right? A lot of people complain about they don't hear a lot of the policies right now. What you're hearing are stances on issues that'll lead to policy, right? Like nobody. Like you want to hear some specifics and some of these speeches.
No.
Like,
some of these are policies: the affordable housing, the fucking tax credit for home buyers, reproductive rights, trying to make sure women have their reproductive rights. These are policies. They are. People just aren't listening because they don't want to hear it. Eric, standing on business, what Eric Foss said. How many votes did Kamala get? She got every vote that Biden got. They were on the same ticket.
Right.
So and she got every delegate. So
like what I was saying was like you'll hear some policy stances, but like they're not going to run down the list of policy stances, right? They're not going to run down the list and be like, "This, well, we're going to do this here specifically, that here." It's a lot of high level like issues that lead to some policy stances, and then they'll move on to issues, and you can literally determine their basic policy stance based on their stance on the issue. I mean, to really understand what they're going to do with policy, you would need like a 30-page fucking, like a booklet in terms of like what they're going to do with this clause and that clause. It gets really technical and specific. Think tanks sit there and they do this for politicians, right? They take their position and their issues, the stance on the issue and the stance on the overall policy, and they come up with all the specifics and shit. So that's why when people say that, like, I'm not hearing enough policy, that's just bullshit, because you are. But nobody's going to get up there and rattle off like all the details.
To be fair,
right?
Jason, the same person who said I don't hear policy said I want Trump to be president because he's not a politician. So to be fair,
true.
To
Very
be fair,
very true.
we
Very
just kind
true.
of say things, and I'm not like, I'm sorry, I'm laughing because of what you just said, FBS, because I think about, because like for us it's a member of parliament, so like we vote for the prime minister as if he's like for you, like a member of the house, like he's one of the voters. So when you're like the vice president,
Eric Foss, I love you, but I think you're watching a little too much Fox News lately with some of these talking points, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Eric
Like,
Foss.
I love you, buddy.
I'm talking about to be the nominee too. Everybody's saying she got no votes. No, in the primaries, it was the Biden-Harris ticket. Every single person that voted for the Biden-Harris ticket voted for Harris, not just Biden. So all the votes Biden got, Harris got. That's how many votes. You know, she wasn't at the top of the ticket, but it doesn't matter. If this would have been somebody else they replaced Biden with, it would have been an issue. But she's on the ticket, so it don't matter. Here's Jesse.
Hey, everybody. FBS, you brought up abortion, and there's something I wanted
I did?
Yeah,
oh, yeah, I think I did.
Well, Jeff did. I think Jeff brought up the fact that, he doesn't like that kids get aborted 3 or 4 months in. That's what he had said.
Well, and here's the thing with that. I get it. People don't like abortion and this, that, and the other, but they want to cut it off so that there's no exceptions, like FBS said, in rape or incest. But let me take it a step forward or further. When Roe v. Wade got overturned, that opened the doors. There were 4 states, I believe it was Alabama, Ohio, I want to say Louisiana, and I can't remember the 4th one, but there were 4 states that changed their laws so anti-abortion that if you had an ectopic pregnancy, I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's when you're pregnant, but it's stuck in the tube. It's not in the uterus. It's very deadly to the mother, and the baby never survives.
Jason had one of those.
Basically, you have to abort the baby or it will kill the mother and the baby anyway. But they rolled their laws back so far after Roe v. Wade got overturned that if you have an ectopic pregnancy, the doctor has to remove the fetus. It's not even quite a fetus at that point yet, but they have to remove it and reimplant it into the uterus.
Oh my God.
If it does not take, you, the mother, and the doctor can be charged with murder.
You're reminded.
That's the problem with the whole abortion issue. Just very quickly for myself, like it's either one extreme or the other. Like I'm pro-choice. I'm sorry. I'm pro-choice, but I can understand people that are pro-life. So there's a balance we can strike.
Isn't that choice?
We used to have a sort of a balance in this country until they overturned Roe v. Wade. I mean, that was just a devastating move. Supreme Court.
Exactly. Now listen, I get it. You know what? I'm not exactly running around going abort your babies for no random, for random reasons.
I am.
Nobody in their right mind says that. But the problem is when you
we got enough fucking people. We don't need no more people on this fucking planet.
And end up like India with 1.2 billion
that out
people.
Loud, FBS. I heard someone use that conspiracy.
But when you completely cut off that option with no exception, you're going to have these situations. And ectopic pregnancy is actually very common.
It's more than that because I think it goes into reproductive. Because I know someone who lived in Alabama, and this happened like 3 or 4 years ago. She had terrible issues and needed a hysterectomy. Like she would need to get blood infusions every month, and she had to get her husband. No joke. She had to find a doctor that was willing to do it because the doctor was like, well, what if he wants another baby? Like, I swear to God, that happened like 3 or 4 years ago.
And Alabama is one of those states that probably when was Roe v. Wade overturned? Probably about 3 or 4 years ago. So,
right. And she literally could have died every time she got her period. I was like, what?
Exactly. That's what happens when the government starts messing around with reproductive organs.
Yeah, I mean, to me,
look at Chicago's comment.
Pro-life. MRE anti abortion.
I mean, thank God, it doesn't matter who I vote for. No one's gonna like worry about my uterus. But I don't know how you guys like.
I mean, what if we went back to what the Nazis were doing back in the fucking 30s into World War II, right? They were doing that eugenic shit. So like it's like favorable genes, right? They were like sterilizing certain people so they couldn't reproduce. Then they would have all like the most handsome, prettiest like German men and women and like these camps to like produce as many kids as possible. They were doing all that sort of shit.
They're very well documented too. They're an organized people.
Yeah, and that entire ideology that came from the American eugenics movement, where they were trying to say that certain genes are more desirable, and they were trying to play with the genes to produce certain kinds of human beings. But it was all bullshit science. It all got disproven, you know, like Nazism and the whole Aryan fucking that whole Aryan bullshit, right? Like that all got disproven back then. So
right, but my point is, those kind of laws, when you start, you know, how would men like it if all of a sudden at the age of 40 they were forced to get vasectomies?
I know. It's weird to me. I'm not going to lie.
All of a sudden it would be like, you can't touch my body.
We'd get our guns and be in the street like fucking rioting probably. You know?
It's so weird to me that you have to like decide that like people can decide. I don't know. That's weird. It's so weird.
I totally agree. I mean, I have a problem with the government telling anybody what they can do with their body, let alone women in pregnancies, right? So I hear you.
People like, I mean, I literally heard, you know, the little Nazi say something like, well, you know, what did he say? Like this little sleeping around culture, you know, and they're just going. I'm like, nobody's going to get abortions like willingly, like it's fun. Like, what are you crazy?
Like women are just like, let me get pregnant so I could just go kill.
It is like a trauma to the body, depending on, you know what I mean? Like, are you? He's like, I saw boyfriends walking in with them, maybe for support. What are you on crack? Like,
and depending on the situation, the mental trauma that these women are going through.
Well, MRE should understand. MRE should have been an abortion. So he should
excuse me. He said I figured out what's wrong with him. He said at age 9 he was protesting with the nuns. I go, well, that's a problem right there. Right there.
Because you're a fucking freak, MRE. You should have been
abortion clinics at age 9. That's normal. But anyways. I'm just saying, like, people think, oh, well, then if there's abortions, we're just gonna have sex all the time. No.
Yeah,
listen, I'm all for fucking. As much fucking as people could do, it's a great thing. Every now and then, an accident happens.
Yeah, I'm more or less of the mind.
It's like pro-lifers that like to bomb abortion clinics.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm more about like we should make.
They're pro-life. They just want to kill everybody who is involved in abortion. Sorry, Jason, go ahead.
Yeah, instead of abortions, I'm more of the mind that instead of, I mean, that obviously has to happen, right? Like there's times when you need abortions, but I'm of the mind where we need to make people get licensed to have kids, because there's people walking around popping out babies every year, and I'm like, you should not even have a dog, and you have a child. Like it just scares the fuck out of me. Like there's certain people that forget sterilization. I'm just saying, go through a process to get licensed, like you do for a motor vehicle. You should be able to do that to have a child, to prove that you're fit to be a parent and you can take care of this child. Like there's people popping out babies on welfare and then they're complaining about welfare. You're not getting enough. Yet you have like 5 kids. Like it's your right to have children. But if you're gonna have a child, raise that child.
Easier said than done, but I agree.
You have states like Texas that outlaw birth control, but then they don't want to pay for welfare.
Oh my God, that's what MRE said. He's like, well, I'd rather a kid alive and we'll find someone to raise him. I'm like, you ignorant. My brain exploded. Like, can you imagine how broken this? I'd rather us find someone to raise him.
You see how many more babies end up in dumpsters.
How broken the system is. Like
high school bathrooms and everything.
I mean, it's like instead of abortion, focus on parenting and raising kids appropriately and properly. Give them the love, the support they need, a good education, and you'll see crime go way fucking down, dude. Even with drugs, like there's always going to be certain people. You give them everything in life, they're going to fuck up anyway. But like, there's like a lot of the people that end up criminals. You look at the socioeconomic factors that cause that. You look at the data and the studies that are coming out, and it all starts with the way they're born, the way they're raised. I'm sorry, not the way they're born, the way they're raised, and the way that they're sort of socialized and educated. And usually it's pretty fucking bad. So by the time they grow up, they're just straight criminals. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of it's just the way we raise our children and the way we take care of them. That matters more than anything. I see that more than ever as I get older, because I have a son, and you know, and I see other guys who just go around they're like serial baby makers, right? They just have like 15. Oh, that's a lot, but like 5 or 6 sons' mothers, not baby mamas, but sons' mothers, and they'll go around just doing this like every 2-3 years, and then child support time. They're hiding all their money, they're hiding their assets, they're moving to another state. They're trying to absolve themselves of their responsibility. But hey, they want to just go around and just have kids.
Middle ground has to come around. It's not always at the top or the bottom.
We should sterilize guys like that who are just popping out babies and not taking care of them.
Why don't we just
to answer Eric's question? Eric said, "Well, how come the man doesn't have a choice with the child? Like, if I don't want to have a kid, but the woman has it, should I be
put on a
able to
condom?"
support it?
Sorry.
No, see, yeah, it's too late at that point. Once you decide to shoot her club up, Once you decide to shoot her club up, anything that happens after that is her.
You do realize she's not just an oven, right? It's her body. So then you're kind of too late.
I think as the man, we have it better in the sense that like we don't have to endure pregnancy, because that's fucking crazy. Popping out a baby, I went through that once, and like, oh my fucking god, right? And then like we're men, so we don't have periods, so we don't have to go through that. So like I get it, like we should have it a little different than a woman. It's her body, it's her physical well-being that she has to go through. So I understand that.
A baby
and there's a reason why women are the ones that carry babies. We can handle it.
No, I mean, that's not fair. I don't agree with that. They should have to be able to handle it.
A woman's pain tolerance is way higher than a man, like pound for pound. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You guys have to have babies. Like, men, we're stronger physically, biologically, but like pound for pound, being able to take pain,
just
men can never have babies. We fucking die.
hey, Jason,
just think about when you get a cold. How many of you go, I have a scratchy throat?
But that's not always true, though.
I didn't say always.
That's pussy, man. That's not always true.
Jason, in my family, we throw out 9 to 10 pound babies.
Oh,
yeah. We don't mess with the average 6-7 pounder in my family. We throw out 9 to 10, sometimes even 12-pound babies in my family. So
that's
noted.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's a big ass baby.
There's another thing I want to quickly say that I heard before, and it's not an attack on anybody. There's a lot of people that say, "Oh, I've seen Republican policies from the 70s and the 80s, even in the 90s, and I saw how it worked then, and I saw how the Democratic policies from the 80s and the 90s, those didn't work, and I feel like that's why I should vote Republican now." Well, to that I would say, times change, politics change, everything changes with time, right? The entire country changes with time. So what worked back then, there's no guarantee it's going to work now. You need to assess the era, the time for what it is in the current moment. And there's always a balance. There's a time where like you need some more Republican law and order, which I agree in the 90s was needed. And then there's times to scale that back. And there's a balance with everything. Like, again, that's why I keep saying, like, one day I could be a Republican. One day I might even vote conservative. Not anytime soon, but
why don't we get involved at the local level instead of
exactly.
voting for the president
Grassroots
and assuming,
level. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Assuming that's going to change in 2 years because you're going to start campaigning after that.
There's a lot of things that like people take for granted. Like, everyone thinks the Republicans are the law and order party, but if you look at when they've had Congress, like I'm talking the federal level, right? If you look at the federal level, when they control Congress and the presidencies, I mean, and you compare that to when the Democrats had power, had Congress and the presidency, and you look at crime statistics, like you're going to see nuance on both sides. You're going to see fuck ups and things that are done on both sides. So it's a lot of it's anecdotal and perception. People say perception is reality. Absolutely not. I mean, it might be your reality. It might be my reality day to day. But it's not reality as in facts what's actually happening. And that's where I live. And that's why I lose my mind.
But like Jeff said, when something was ruined, he said, ruined depends on what ruined to you. That's the problem. People say this was ruined or this was, well, to me,
that's
maybe
subjective.
it was. But, exactly.
Well, there's certain high-level things that you can say were ruined. Like, we can say drugs ruined the country, Republican or Democrat. Drugs induced crime. We can say New York was the most fucked up, grimiest fucking place I've ever seen in my life in the 80s and 90s, right? We can say that. And now I can say New York is the safest big city I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'll take my kid and walk around at like 2 o'clock in the morning in Brooklyn and still feel safe in certain neighborhoods, right? So it's like with time, you see how things change and shift.
Hey, Ray.
Bensonhurst is not even that Italian anymore. There's a lot of Chinese and Indians.
No. I mean, back then you could feel safe walking around with your.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, if you were Italian,
I used to walk around my daughter around there when she was a baby.
I'm just saying, like, if I was a black guy, I wouldn't walk through Bensonhurst in the 80s. You know, that's me personally. But if you're Italian, yeah. My mom used to have a business in Bensonhurst, you know, and I used to call there all the time as a kid. And there's a lot of different races over there, but it's always been an Italian stronghold. It just isn't too much anymore in terms of numbers, but that was what everyone knew it as. And in terms of just walking around, safe.
Trouble, I'm going to drop down.
Oh, yeah, I got to get going too, guys. I'm bored to fucking tears at this point. You know me, I zone out after a while. I mean, all you guys are making good points and shit. I'm tired.
I just want to see Harris like kick some ass tonight.
And shut up, all of you.
No. Oh, Harris is gonna. Yeah, listen. We'll close off with that.
Yeah.
Let me ask each of you, what do you expect from both? Oh, Jesse, you suck. How dare you? I wasn't finished with you yet.
Like, I'm tired of this.
Yeah. Remember what I used to do when all them guys would be on, and I would just go in the living room and lay down and watch movies and shit while everybody's talking. No. What do you think's going to happen tonight with both people specifically? Both of you. Jason, you go first.
So I think it's going to be a replay of Trump from the first debate. He's going to come out there. He's going to start with all his usual talking points and pontificating and pursing his lips, and he's going to go after her with the name calling, Kami Kamala, whatever. It's going to be the same.
Comrade Kamala, yeah.
Right. It's going to be the same shit from the first one. With Harris, I expect a complete sort of turnaround from the Biden performance. Why? Because she's like coherent and she's all there. And I expect her to start, I hope, by going after him, like attacking him directly, and then sort of segue that into some of her issues and policy stances. And really, at the end of the day, I want to see her sort of trope on the hope and change message that Obama had. I think if she does those things, she's going to win easily. But the optics matter, so she's got to come off forceful and very, very confident.
I think one of her tactics is going to be to laugh at him. Honestly, that might sound crazy, but that makes him nuts. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I know they taught her that. You know, when
it's not just that. As a woman, if she doesn't laugh, they call her cold. If she's too prepared, they're going to say she's a bitch and too cold.
Yeah.
If she doesn't,
she's just got to. When he says stupid shit, she just has to stand there laughing at him. It'll drive him up a fucking wall. The best thing she could do is make him snap. You know what I mean? That's what her main intention should be. Make him snap so he loses all control. You know?
I think the best way to do that is to go after his character. And you do that by bringing up all the fucking legal shit. Oh, no, the Stormy Daniels thing, the fucking, like all the disgusting shit he's done since like the 80s.
I disagree. The Americans, no offense, but most people are like, I'm over it. I've heard enough already. I know that's not an actual argument, but I hear that all the time. I don't want to hear about it anymore.
Yeah, well, he's going to go after her character. So she has to push back. Like he just can't be seen to sort of like not respond to a lot of his rhetoric with her own rhetoric. That's all I got to say. You got to out rhetoric him.
Yeah.
I love that Eric just said, my last comment is why a woman should never be president.
You guys ever see the Trump-Hillary Clinton debate #1? Hillary handled them pretty well.
Which one was that?
That was back in like 16.
Was that when he stood around?
Yeah.
That was not
the 16 debate.
But that was
right?
one of them. That was one of there was 3 debates.
They were sort of going back and forth, and like Hillary was sort of up there, confident, and she was making little remarks towards them, and she's like, Donald, are you making fun of me because I came prepared?
Those were SNL
snarky shit like that. Like that's what Harris needs, like snarky fucking little one-liners to just get under his skin. Like you said, FBS, you get him mad and you get him sort of like overreacting, then she's already winning them.
But to be fair, it's the perception of the people who watch it. He'll be unprepared and say words together that don't make sense. And people will say she was too cold and prepared. And then the other side will say he's a lunatic, or they'll say he was off the cuff and ready to go. And you know what I mean? People are going to see it the way they want to see it.
You're going to have both sides have their own view of it. But what'll really matter is how the polls react to it within like 2 weeks. Because there's a bit of a
Why shouldn't I bring it up, Eric? It's a thing. It doesn't.
There's a bit of a lag between the debate and the numbers.
What a stupid thing to say. Honey, I didn't say that. Is that what you heard?
What a stupid thing to say.
Sweetheart, Q-tips. That's not what I said. I said that's what people will say. I didn't say needs to have kid gloves. Trust and believe. It's like you never want the woman at the border, because they're usually bigger ass.
Here's another quick topic for next time. Female feminism's attack on male masculinity the last 5 or 6 years. We'll talk about that one later.
Well, listen, guys, this was great, and please do come on more politics shows, whatever you want to call them, and we'll do this again.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
By the way, FBS, you ghosting things is totally ADHD. But anyways, go.
Oh, of course it is. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, appreciate you guys, man. Bye.
All right. Excellent. That was fun. I just, after a while, I start to I want to get up and do things. What are we going on? 2 hours and 11 minutes. That's insane. But I will give a few minutes for you guys to throw some last minute donations at me since I provided you with such a good show. I even allowed some guy who wanted to show off his pool on the show. So we all got to see his pool. If that's not worth, sending donations, I don't know what is. Tom Sheehy sent 20, Matt sent 20, Tom Sheehy sent 5, Stuart sent 5. I appreciate you guys. And I'll just give it a few minutes and wait for more donations to come rolling in. Because I have no choice, because I have to make money, because this is how I make a living. You do, Jason. You do. So do I. No, that's all right, though. You're passionate like I am. Great conversations, Bobby. I agree. Jeff Nadeau is a smart guy. He throws me off a little bit. With some of his. Sometimes I think he's verging on being a Trump supporter. It's like, oof, Jeff. Don't do that. John R., thank you. I saw you commenting throughout the show. Thank you for taking part in the chat and stuff, man. If you're new, by the way, welcome. Hold on, I just got something from. Hold on. Let me see if I'm supposed to play it. Wait. All right, I don't think Tom wants me to play. You want me to play it, Tom? If so, say yes again, because I don't know. Thank you, Jason. Listen, part of it is thanks to you, my man. Okay, Tom wants me to play it. All right, listen, this is his opinion on the show. Oh no, thank you for joining, Jesse. Listen.
FBS, it was a lot of bollocks, mate. A lot of bollocks it was. Especially that Moz. Jason's not too bad.
A lot of bollocks, especially that Muzz. Jason's not too bad. Nice, Tom. Thank you. Excellent. What was I going to say? Nadeau is a cynic. I don't blame him. Well, I want to bring something up. And again, I know this is going to sound like a complete and total shot at Trump supporters. And in a way, I guess it is. You will never see something like that with Trump supporters. Okay. And what I mean is intelligent, well thought out, like level-headed discussion, articulated well, and all that shit. You don't see that. Like if you bring a Trump supporter on and look at Philip Anthony. Look, he's obviously a Trump supporter, right? What's the one thing he said? I got to remember now. What was it? Oh, he's going to see if Kamala can string 2 sentences together. That's something only a dumb person would say. I'm going to go over this again, guys. She's a college-educated woman who was district attorney, okay, then attorney general, then a senator, then the vice president, and now she's running for president. And you don't think she can string 2 sentences together. Meanwhile, you're supporting Trump, who literally can't string 2 sentences together. So if we would have brought Trump supporters on while we were speaking the way we were, having an intelligent discussion, we would have heard a lot of camel toe Mala, whatever the fuck they call her, camel toe Harris, whatever. And she's a whore. She slept her way to the top. All this bullshit stuff, these bullshit narratives they hear on Fox News and everything else. It's not intelligent conversation. You can't have intelligent conversation. I'm not saying no Trump supporters can have an intelligent conversation, but your average one cannot. It's just going to be a lot of name calling and bullshit, lies, and Fox News talking points. So I would have allowed any Trump supporter who wanted to come on, but unless it was somebody, and I know some Trump supporters in this chat who are smart people, but let's just say it was one of Pizza's supporters or your average Trump supporter. You know what the conversation would have turned into, so it's like, that's just ignorance to think Kamala is silly, Kamala, whatever, on any level. I know it's goofy when they say things like that. It's like, again, no self-awareness. This guy that you support is a fucking moron. Like, I can't say that any better than that. I just repeat it over and over because it's true. He's a fucking moron. This is a guy who not once in any debate did he have even a reasonably intelligent answer, even a somewhat intelligent answer. That's I don't know what this message I just got was, but I forget what I was saying. That's it. It's time for me to go. I got distracted. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Anyway, what was I getting at? You get my point. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, Trump's a moron. Yeah, never once in a debate did he really, say something that was like, wow, you know what? That's fucking really, he really articulated that well. And it's really a well thought out plan or policy proposal or something. It's like, unless, you're a fucking moron, then it's like everything he says is smart. But if you have brains, not so much, So I assure you guys, one thing I will predict for the debate tonight, you remember this, is that Kamala will spank Trump. She's going to whip his ass. And tomorrow, every Trump supporter in America will say that Trump won. That it's just the way it is. That's what's going to happen. It's what happened every time he debated anyone ever. And that's the way it'll be. So, and obviously he can't stand a chance, or he doesn't stand a chance against her, obviously. Okay, the motherfucker, he's a guy who's still, at this point in his political career, doesn't know anything. Doesn't know anything about domestic policy. He doesn't know anything about foreign policy. He doesn't know anything about the asylum process. He doesn't know anything about tariffs. He doesn't know anything about any of this shit he talks about. Now, I don't know if he's just deliberately lying to everybody when he says that a tariff is not a tax on the American consumer, or if he really believes that. We don't know. I mean, I have reason to believe he's not smart enough to know what a tariff is. But if he knows what a tariff is, then he's just plain lying when he says it's not a tax on the American people. Of course it is. Of course it is. There's no question. It's exactly what it is. And everybody who's bitching about inflation now, just remember all those products that you want to bring the prices down on, those prices are going to go up by 10% because of his tariffs. Not on every product, but every product that's imported here from overseas, every product. Okay, that's his plan. And why? Because he needs that 1.8 trillion or whatever it'll bring in over a decade to fucking pay for more tax cuts to the richest people. That's what he's going to do. He's going to raise your taxes if you're a working person. He's going to create his own self-made inflation. The economy will get worse. And who knows what else he'll do in the process, because that Project 2025 is a disaster waiting to happen. Yeah, of course it is. Absolutely. So that's my prediction. Trump, listen to me carefully, because I want to be able to say tomorrow, I told you. He is going to he's going to shit talk the country, first of all. He's going to do that constantly. Okay, because that's how he gets across to his voters. He has been able to convince his voters that we live in a third world country now, or something like a third world country. where there's no, it's just lawlessness, people running around stealing and shooting and killing, and nobody goes to jail. And if they do, they get let out without bail and all this crazy shit. He's gonna, talk about how horrible the economy is, completely ignoring the fact that the economy is fucking fantastic right now. He's going to lie through his fucking teeth, and it'll be constant fear mongering, because this isn't just a debate for him. It's a campaign stop. Okay. And it'll be all bullshit the whole time. He's going to say a lot of things like, this country has gone to hell. It's like we live in a third world country, stuff like that. He's going to say stuff like that a lot. And then Kamala is going to have a well thought out, point to make every time it's her chance to speak. Guarantee it. She's going to talk about policy, plans for the future. She's going to, she's going to sound optimistic. And she's not going to be all gloom and doom like Trump. She's going to, she knows what she's talking about, whether you guys want to believe it or not. She knows what she's talking about. Trump doesn't. You guys say, oh, he was the president already. Kind of. I mean, like any other president? No. Not a single fucking thing Donald Trump did during his presidency, I assure you, not a single thing was Trump's idea or Trump's, original policy idea. None of that stuff. He hired the worst of the worst people, and he did the worst shit possible, and he fucked everything up. And then he left the country way worse than he found it when he inherited a fantastic economy from fucking Obama. And you can't say it was a bad economy, or you're just lying. Look it up. It was a great economy that Trump inherited, and he ruined it. He left office with 2.5 million less jobs than he started with. He fucked up and completely and totally mishandled the pandemic. Okay, he convinced everybody that that it was just going to go away like a miracle. There's only a few cases. It'll go away. The heat will kill it. Inject bleach in your body, all this lunatic shit. He did, though, fast track the vaccine. I'll give him that. Saved millions of lives, without a doubt. But then he went and basically told everybody not to take the vaccine. So even that, you can't give him credit for. He's a fucking dope. And he knows that his supporters are stupid. So he has to, act and talk like a stupid person for them to understand him and agree with him on things. So that's that. I started the war on the police. How, Timothy Sullivan? How do you start the war on the police? I'm willing to answer a question real quick. Ask a cop or a realtor how things are in the real world. Well, Timothy Sullivan, that's another thing, that it all depends. Like if I ask a cop in Wrightsville, how's the real world looking? And then I ask a cop in, Harlem, how's the world looking? I'm going to get two different answers. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with realtors. Depends on the housing market, wherever they are, wherever they are. And again, Timothy, there's other indicators of a good economy. Okay. Interest rates are high, partly thanks to your fucking president. He doesn't want to he threatened Jerome Powell, okay, and the Federal Reserve to keep those rates high until after the election. Okay. So that's a fact. The border is fucked up because he did everything he could to squash the border deal, get rid of that. And it worked. All right. So, he's worried about himself and winning this election. He doesn't care about the American people at all. I want to hear how Timothy, again, this is something you're being told. It's something you're being told. I live in the same world you do, Timothy, and they're not. They're not at all. I live in the same world you do. Certain areas, do areas get worse? Yeah. Timothy, crime is down. Violent crime is down. That's a fact. That's a fact. It doesn't matter, anecdotal evidence or your people's opinion. It doesn't matter. Crime is down. So if this is the lens you want to see the world through, what you're hearing, oh my God, look what's happening. Like this horse shit. Timothy, you got to admit, he's pushing a rumor. He started this rumor that Venezuelan illegal immigrants are taking over apartment buildings in Aurora, Colorado. It's been debunked 1,000 different times. The police said it's not true. The chief of police said it's not true. But he just keeps saying it. Now, if you don't look into it and you just listen to shit like that, you're going to believe it. It's not true. He's saying now that Haitian people in fucking Springfield, Ohio have taken over. Okay. And they're just Haitian immigrants. They're fucking eating people's pets. This is something he's really saying. And especially ducks, cats and ducks they're eating. I mean, this is insanity. So if you listen to this right-wing horseshit all day, yes, you would be under the impression that even in small town America, everything is falling apart. But if you open your eyes and look around and realize, oh, wait a minute, none of this is happening. You know what I mean? You've just been convinced that it's going to eventually. Maybe eventually it will. But I'll tell you what, you got no concerns right now because violent crime and crime overall is down, you know, in America. That's a good thing. So, and that's a fact too. Crime and violent crime were higher under Donald Trump. And again, grocery prices. When Trump left office, there was no groceries. It's amazing. People forget that Trump was in office during COVID. They like to just put it all on Biden. They forget that the first shutdown came from Trump himself. He shut everything down. Okay? They forget a lot of things. And he totally fumbled the whole fucking thing. He fucked it up, and it ruined our country. It ruined our fucking country. And nothing has been the same since. You can't put that on Biden. Trump was the first guy, okay? He was in office for damn near a year after COVID really hit. So, and he fucked it all up. And guess what? Who came along and saved our asses? Biden. You don't want to admit it? That's fine. But in all reality, you can't deny it. The best border deal ever presented. Yeah. Bipartisan. Both parties, Republicans and Democrats, authored that border deal. And Trump came along and said, no. And the Republicans will tell you that. He came along and said, no, you better not pass that during the election year. You're not going to give Joe Biden a win. And they're terrified of him because he holds their political futures in his hands. So they said, okay, we're voting against it. And that was it. And now they need excuses. So they say, do you know what else is in that border deal? Yes, it's the same things that Democrats and Republicans agreed to when they wrote it. What, all of a sudden they decided, oh my God, it turns out we were wrong. All of this is bad. No, it's Trump told them what they better do, and they fucking listened. So if you're worried about the border right now, thank Trump. And again, grocery prices, go back to COVID, read about it, read about supply chains getting fucked up and the food shortages that really caused the initial increase in grocery prices. And then go listen to the CEO of Kroger's, okay, and listen to him tell how once they raised those prices because they had to because of the problems during COVID and to meet inflation, they realized, wait a minute, we could raise them even higher and just keep them that way and make more profit. So get mad at them. Get mad at the corporate billionaires that Trump wants to give another tax to because they're keeping your grocery prices high. And get mad at the oil industry for oil prices. Okay, get mad at direct your anger where it really belongs. Yeah, I would fucking block the shit out of him, Shala. I have a crazy Trump supporter uncle. I haven't spoken to him in years, and I never will. He's a fucking lunatic. Oh, yeah, well, look, we're finding that out now with this indictment and everything. What about all the people from insane asylums flooding the border, FBS? Listen, someday, Saxon, maybe somebody will explain to Trump what asylum means. Maybe he'll understand there's different meanings to that word. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Nathan, I agree. Matt, $10. Match this before the show ends, people. Yeah, come on. A few of you. Match Matt's donation, please. I made $5 on the first fucking video. I didn't get a dime in cash today, which is like, I don't know what the fuck is happening. I thought there's no way it could get worse than it has been for the last 5 or 6 months. And this month is like nothing I've ever fucking seen before. There is no money unless, the maybe 7 or 8 donors that I have left to donate. And the fact that suppliers are deciding to pass these costs on to the consumer rather than eating them and making less profit. Of course, yes, fuck the billionaires, without a doubt. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Enjoy the show tonight, and we will talk about it tomorrow. Unless it's really crazy, I might decide to come back on tonight. We'll see. I love you all, and until next time, salute.